Yo, but see, when I do that, it's showing all this other stuff on the screen. That's what I was trying to get off. You can start doing what you're doing, but just talk to me. And
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Okay, it's on you. Yo, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. You know, I'm here. You know, my man Cambell calling late, you know what I mean? So I can't deal with him right now. But I'm just letting y'all know that we running this to show that we could come together as one. You know what I mean? We're all YouTubers. All YouTubers is welcome. You know, I'm speaking for me. I'm speaking for Unique Mecca Audio. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm letting y'all know now that I support all the other channels. You understand? 050 China, you know, AK-47. I watch him. I mean, he wild, brother. You know what I mean? AK, I like your style. He goes off on them. You know what I mean? He remind me a lot of my man 10 Toes. He do what he do. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, we got academics. My little nephew, Queens Flip. Let's not forget him. 1090 Jake. You know what I mean? I watch his joint. Chad, Blood on the Razor Wire. I did something with him the other day. I watch him too. You know what I mean? And Five God. I watched Five God the other day. He seemed like a real nice brother that I definitely would like to, you know, to see where his head is at, because he seems real intelligent and I like the way he speaks and, you know, so on. You know what I mean? So we here. I brought the brothers together because we want to try and talk to the youth to let them know that it's not a bed of roses in prison. Everybody try and act like it's sweet in prison. And, you know what I mean? Oh, if I go to jail, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Man, I done seen police get killed, dude hold police down while his man stabbed him 36 times. I done been locked up for 6 months at a time straight. I ain't had a shower in 6 months. You know what I mean? 2008, you know, from June to December, they had me locked in the cell. I sat there, I watched grass grow. You know what I mean? I watched grass grow. So I'm just letting you know it ain't nothing nice, man. So, you know, I brought my brothers up here and, you know, everybody put their differences aside to try and talk to the youth because this is a bigger reason. And I respect all of them. Just like I said, I support all the other channels. You understand what I'm saying? And I watch the other channels. You know, I agree with some things. I don't agree with some things. They don't agree with a lot of things I say, but, you know, they entitled. You know what I mean? So I'm going to bring them up now and let you meet everybody. So I'm going to bring my brother T Mack up because me and T Mack go back. You know what I mean? T Mack, here you go, big bro. You know?
Yo, what's poppin', Huey? How you?
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how you doing, Daddy?
All right. Tell them who you are, how much time you did, and where you did it, because this is going to be like the feds versus the state. So we're going to talk about politics.
T Mack from the BX. T Mack from the BX. I did 12 years. I was in Fort Devens for 4, and did another 7 in Fort Dix.
All right. So, you know, he did his in the feds. Now I'm gonna bring up the good brother St. Laz. You know what I mean?
What's good, my brother? What up, St. Laz, man? St. Laz, Brownsville, Brooklyn. I did 6 in the state. Fortunately, that's all I did. 6 in the state.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. I watch your platform too, family, and you know, I definitely support it, and I love the joint. You know what I mean? I love how you break it down with the state because you know I did state time, but my state time was in Jersey. You know what I mean? But you know, y'all know I already did a lot of time in the feds. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna bring up my brother 10 Toes Down, aka Shaft.
Yeah, what up? What up? Salute to the chat, man. Everybody in the chat. 10 Toes Down TV. I did 21 years. Every jail. It's too many jails to name. Over 20 jails I've been to. And I'm here, bro.
All right. And thank y'all for being here. You know what I mean? And, you know, for us working together as one, because like I said, the whole point of this is to reach out and touch the youth so that they understand, you know, what's going on. We're just waiting on brother Hassan to come back. He had difficulties. He'll be back in a minute. But, you know, this is really, like I said, We just trying to really just tell, you know, what it's like. So we're gonna start with you, Chef. What was it like your first day? You know what I mean? And now let's talk about when you got your sentence. How did you feel when you got your sentence? When they told you life or they know the 25? How did you feel? What went through your mind?
No, I got 15. I ended up doing 21.
That's a good story. Tell us about that. How did that play out?
What, the 15 and 21? I mean,
Yeah,
you know, the 15 and 21.
What happened?
I ended up doing 21 because the parole board kept hitting me at the board.
Okay.
You know, the first time I got the sentence, it wasn't nothing. I was numb to it already. I was already locked up for 4 years, so for 3.5 years. So time was like nothing. I just got to go do it. It wasn't until I went to downstate and then started really feeling that shit.
Yeah, that's when you realize that this is real, that you're gonna be on the lower hall for at least 15.
Yeah, hell yeah, definitely. That's when they give you your they call it compass stats or some shit. They give you that paper when you get in that cell in downstate. So now it's just you and them 4 walls. Ain't nobody there. It's quiet. You in downstate. There's no talking. There's no noise. You got your rule book. You got your new set of greens, and that's when they give you your time. How much time you got? You get that printout of when you go to the parole board. And I was going in 2006. It was 1994.
Oh, okay. All right. Brother Hassan just came in. Let's bring him up so he introduce himself, and we're gonna move back on. There you go. Tell him who you are, brother, and how much time you did. Take your mute off. I think your mute might be on. Hassan.
I can't hear. I'm trying to figure out why I can't hear.
We can hear you loud and clear. Say something. You can't hear us? I'm speaking to you. Could you hear me now?
Yep. Oh, yeah, let me see. Audio.
Okay, get that right. Get that right while Laz tell about his Laz, tell him who you are and what's going on. Get that right, Hans.
Well, what you mean? The first day in jail? I mean, the first day up north?
Now, you know, when you first got the sentence, how did you feel?
I mean, you know, I was out on bail in the street, man. So that shit was terrible. It's nothing worse than having to turn yourself in to go do 6 years. You feel what I'm saying? But when I got to downstate, I had never been in a cell house yet. I was only in dorms in the 4 building. So when I got to the downstate and them niggas, I was just 7. I had just turned 17. When them niggas put me in that cell for the first time, you know, downstate is max quiet time. You understand what I'm saying? You can't do nothing in downstate. So when them niggas threw me in that cell for the first time, that shit broke me down like a newborn. I was crying like a baby. Straight up, bro.
Yeah,
that shit was rough. That first time in a cell, that doors where you ain't got nothing but that little hole you could look out of in a little slot. That shit was different.
You know,
so that
I'm gonna
shit
tell
you
Hassan, you get that right yet? Say
something. Y'all can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay, I'm here.
All right. Tell us about when you first got your sentence, what you felt like.
Well, for me, I didn't really get much of a sentence because the first time I was locked up, I was fighting a murder case, attempted murder case. And when it was time for me to go to trial, they separated me in my co-defendant's trial. He beat the murder case. I had 3 years in. So because he beat the murder case and he had less evidence on me, they offered me a 1.5 to 4.5, and I copped out, went upstate for like, 3 months and came back home. I had 3 years on Rikers Island. So I spent all my time on Rikers Island fighting bodies. When I went upstate, I went to downstate for a hot second, went to Washington and came home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You like,
but
okay, now.
That 3, but let me say this. That 3 years on Rikers Island was equivalent to 10 years up north. Rikers Island was a hellhole.
Tell us one of the stories from Rikers Island. Let's hear one of the stories.
Oh, wow. Where do I start at? It's like, you know, it's crazy because when I first got to Rikers Island, would hit me hard. Like, you know, Mack could tell you in the streets I was a monster. But when I got in the pit, when I got to Rikers Island, nothing that I did in the street mattered. I had to build that reputation all over again.
Mm.
And getting in Rikers Island, where you had, you know, legendary names, that was a C-74 at the time, and you going into these households where, let's say, for example, when I was in Mod 2, right? That's a Mod house, a program house, but then you had dudes like Tattoo, B-Sheet, Rail, Smooch, from the Wild Cowboys. You had legendary names that was in that house. So it's like, okay, how you just gonna get up and you just gonna take the phones in a house where you got 50 people, 25 on this side and 25 on that side. You got 50, you know, you got all these people in one house, and everybody is rolling with the muscle in the house. You had to really, really earn your stripes, and it wasn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I first got locked up, just even going to me first getting locked up, I got caught in Connecticut while I was on a run. You know, the police, the first thing they said to me, we're going to go to McDonald's. They got me some McDonald's. While I'm sitting up there eating the McDonald's and drinking a soda, they said, this is going to be the last meal that you have on the street. Mm-hmm. That was painful.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving a 4-month-old baby in the street.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to give you one. When they arrested me on 8th Avenue between McCombs and 7th Avenue and 150th Street. They rolled up on me and I had a fake ID on me, a Spanish name. I handed them the ID and they said, come on, get out of here, Unique. We know who you are. You know what I mean? And they grabbed me, took me out the car, took me down to the police station, and they kept yelling, we got a gas chamber for you. We got a gas chamber for you. You know what I mean? Because I had the kingpin charge. There was a couple of murders on my case. And, you know, being that I'm the leader, they are yelling, we got a gas chamber for you. So now when they take me down to the courthouse the next day and they arraigned me, my lawyer was there. In the state, which y'all already know from the state, they got cash bail, you know, like 10% or whatever. But in the feds, I don't know how they got it now, but back then the way they did the bail, it was a signature bond. You understand what I'm saying? Or property. They didn't want no cash in the feds. So you had to get somebody that got, let's say, $100,000 job and they'll sign for you. And if you screw up, you know what I mean? They're going to just garnish the whole check or whatever. Right or wrong, T-Mac?
You definitely right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just letting them know how y'all do it. So no disrespect for any of y'all that don't know anyone that has any property or a high paying job. You get picked up by the feds, they ain't going to be able to help you. You know what I mean? They got to have a job, you know what I mean? For them to do a signature bond, or they got to have property. And I'm not talking about collateral like a car, because I had plenty of cars to give them. You know what I mean? You got
a house.
Right? Okay. So now, being that he mentioned about the 4-month-old baby, I had an 18-month-old daughter, and her mother was holding her in her arms, and they had me handcuffed. And when I go up to the front, they gave me $100,000 signature bond. So my lawyer was like, damn, on the kingpin charge, I'm a sign for that. So he went to sign. And as soon as he went to sign, they ran out the courtroom and they came back with a big yellow paper with an immigration detainer. Being that I was born in Jamaica, I'm a citizen because my father became a citizen when I was under 18. But, you know, just being born in Jamaica, that was enough to hold me up for 30 days. You know what I mean? While they did what they call a national, what is it, IMPO? You know, where they check worldwide to see if you want it anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? Being I was born in another country. So they used that to hold me up. So now they gave me the bail. My lawyer signed for the bail, but I couldn't leave until after this 30 days when the immigration thing was up. So now they go to walk me out. And my daughter's mother is holding her in her arms. And, you know, every night I was sleeping with my daughter. She was 18 months. So when I walked by, she tried to jump in my arms. You understand what I'm saying? Where Marshall had to grab her because she was getting ready to fall. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So she was getting ready to fall. So, you know, just to look in her eyes while I'm handcuffed and I'm seeing this, it crushed me on the inside. But like I said, my mother always taught me never to show emotion. Don't let your enemy, you know what I mean, see that you're weak or that they're affecting you in any kind of, you know, any manner whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, man. But I know what you're saying about, you know, leaving your daughter behind. Anybody else left a child behind that they felt a certain way when they first got locked up?
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
You know, but talk about it. Let the people know.
Shit, now go ahead, bro.
I went to court, and actually I had started trial, and I was out on bond. Same thing like you said. I had to get 5 signatures. All of them had to have jobs, and I had to put up property. My bond was it was 250,000, and then it went to 400,000. I put up property cost worth $1 million. I was out for 7 months. So I started trial. Actually, they offered me something on a Thursday. I told my lawyer on a Friday I didn't want it. They called my lawyer back Friday afternoon and told him come to court Monday. I'm starting trial. I go to court Monday, Monday morning, pick the jury at 1 o'clock. We started trial. Tuesday, I said, yo, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm gonna plead guilty right now, because the way they played it wasn't a fair game. So when I went back in, I knew I was going to go back in. I didn't tell my girl. I told my moms. So when we was at the courthouse, I told my mom to take my daughter out. She was 5 years old. I didn't want her to see me not go home with her, because we came there together. So I didn't want her not to see me, not to go somewhere and not go with her. So I told my mom to take her out. I didn't tell my girl at the time. So when they remanded me, she started bugging. Like, hold on, wait a minute, where you going? I'm like, nah, Ma, I gotta go. It is what it is. I gotta go do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the hardest thing to come back. God is good, because I came home. I watched her graduate from high school. I made it to a graduation. I got to take her to Morgan State College. So it turned out, I left her, but she grew up to be a good girl. So, I'm proud of her moms for doing that,
Yeah, that's big. That's big. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. People don't understand the impact. It's like just to give an example of that. When we do things on the street, we think that we only affecting ourselves and say, well, I could do the time. You know what I mean? And it's all about I. But we don't think about, when we go, the same people that, we made the modification. Modification means to justify what is wrong, meaning to justify our wrongs on the street, whether it's robbing, stealing, selling drugs, murder, credit card scam, or whatever. So we try and mollify it by making up excuses. So, we say that we're hustling because moms had to eat. Mom didn't have this. We need to feed the kids. We need to do this. We need to do that. But now, while we're sitting there making these excuses, we don't think that at the end of the day, when we go, you understand, when we go on the inside, now we can't help them. We can't feed them. You know what I mean? So for 26 years, my people had to survive without me, when I was mollifying it to myself that I would be able to take care of everything. You understand what I'm saying? I'm doing this because of this, but not knowing that they was going to grab me. Like, I knew I was going to go to prison. I was doing a whole lot of, lot of foolery. You know what I mean? Selling a lot of drugs and carrying on. I knew I was going to prison, but I never phantomed that it'll be for life. None of y'all phantom it will be for 25 years. Right or wrong, Chef?
Nah, hell no. Definitely.
You understand what I'm saying? So now we hurt the ones that we love and that we try to protect, the same ones that if somebody said something about, that we'll go all out for on the street. But now we're no longer there to protect them. So we left them vulnerable by our choices. So that's why this is talking to the youth, to let them know that, you know what I mean? Think before you do things. Don't say, I gotta get Pampers for my baby. I gotta, you know what I mean? My mother is sick. My aunt got cancer. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Because at the end of the day, when they take you, you know what I mean? There's gonna be nobody there for them. You understand what I'm saying? There's gonna be nobody there for them. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is, man. But what's it like when you walk on your first compound, Laz? When the first day you walked on a prison compound, when they put you into the state system, what did that feel like to you?
I mean, it was a whole new world, man. Like, they was moving me around. I was getting caught up in all type of stuff. But the first compound I got to was Oneida, and this was like back in 93. I was the youngest dude on the whole compound, so it was bugged out because it was nothing but adult, grown ass men there. You feel what I'm saying? I was 17, so I was just everybody was looking at me like, damn, shorty, how old are you? You feel what I'm saying? Because I look dumb young. But they got me out of there. A kid I had a problem with in downstate, he came to the jail. I think he dropped a slip and said that I was his enemy, and they shot me out of there. And they sent me to Comstock to make me do orientation all over again. You feel me? So now I had to be in Comstock for 2 or 3 months before I get reclassified and sent back to a medium. So it was crazy. Know what I mean? So really, it was Oneida real shortly, and then I went to Comstock. So Comstock was the real first yard that I really walked in. You feel me? And that shit was ridiculous. I was too young for that shit at the time. You feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah, know what I mean? That was wild. That was wild.
Tell them what you mean when you said that they dropped a slip, because we know, but let the people know what a slip mean and the power of a slip.
Yeah, like, you know, dudes be dropping little things in the CO suggestion box to let people know that they got beef with a certain dude or somebody selling drugs in the crib or something like that. But I saw the dude. We got into a little small problem in downstate. I attempted to cut the dude. I wasn't successful. And he told on me in downstate. And I hadn't seen him since. So as soon as I saw him, I was like, yo, bro, I don't want no problems. Don't worry about it. I ain't going to tell nobody that nothing happened, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you sure? You sure? I said, yeah. And they ended up packing me up and getting me out of there anyway. You feel what I'm saying? Like the next day or something. So I knew what time it was. You feel me? So that shit was whack, because now I had to go to a max to get assessed again. You feel me? And I was getting a little comfortable in Oneida. It was a little bit laid back at the time. You had Mid-State and Mohawk. Them shits was wild compared to Oneida. You feel me? But yeah, they shot me up to Comstock, man. I thought I was going to a camp. Shit said Great Meadow. I thought I was going to a nice, good camp or something. That shit turned out to be Gladiator School. You feel me? But I knew niggas in there and shit, but I still had problems. There's a long story, bunch of stories.
Okay.
Real talk.
So what was it like for you, Chef, when you first went on, when you first walked in your first day on the compound? We know you're a tough dude and you handle your business, but just to let the youngins know what still go through our mind, because like in the feds, man, that's why I wanted y'all up here from the state, because in the feds, you got people from all over the world in there. It's all over the country. I'm talking about, I'm in Lewisburg and we got dudes from California. At this time, I never even been out to California. I didn't even know what a Blood or a Crip was in 93 when I got locked up. I just knew from colors. You know what I mean? So call me naive or what you want to call me. But, when I got locked up, they wasn't roaming the streets such as they are now. So I didn't know anything about that. Thanks, RICO Grime. You know what I mean? And, so the GDs, the Latin Kings. I mean, these are all brothers that even on the streets, we stay in our lane. When you go down to the Lower East Side, then you'll see the GDs or the Netters, or you understand what I'm saying, when you go into their neighborhood. But when you up in Harlem, you just seeing what we call crews. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we call it where we at. Out west, they call them gangs. You know what I mean? And I want to say that to say I watched the news today. One of my brothers sent me the thing with the prosecutor in Atlanta. They're using the RICO charge now to lock everybody up. All this is just, big shout out to Young Thug and Gunna, you know what I mean? Because everybody's innocent until proven guilty, regardless what the media say. Let's get that straight. But the RICO is equivalent to the continual criminal enterprise. The continual criminal enterprise, that was for big boys that was selling drugs. That's how myself, Rudy Williams, Kevin Childs, that's how we caught these continual enterprise. They figured they couldn't catch us because we at the top of the totem pole with all the drugs. So what they do is they get you for the CCE, we mean continual criminal enterprise, that you continuously violate the drug laws. And it's like they don't even have to have, the convictions on you. All they need is what they call predicate acts. Predicate acts are overt acts that further the movement of the conspiracy. So if somebody said, Unique gave me 3 keys, another person said I gave him 5, and somebody else said they brought 1 key from me. Those are 3 predicate acts that they could use. And then the jury could, you're not charged with those in the indictment. You understand what I'm saying? Thank you for the $9, family. You're not charged, you're not charged with those predicate acts, but they put them on the verdict sheet as violations that even though it didn't go through the grand jury of your peers to make them actual counts in the indictment. So that's how they get sneaky and just use whatever people said to throw a whole bunch of odds, a whole bunch of, junk under the rug. You understand what I'm saying? So now it's so hard to beat it. That's why I feel for Young Thug and Gunna, because I've been through the same thing they going through. And right now, while all their co-defendants is pleading guilty, you know what I mean? Whoever is talking or whatever, every time somebody plead guilty, they get debriefed. You know what I mean? They write up what they call a proffer. They give up more information. And from those further informations, it become further indictments on other people, innocent men on the street, because they're innocent until proven guilty. So you're going to see plenty more. Remember, I'm telling you that first. You're going to see plenty more superseding indictments in that case, because every time someone plead guilty, they drag it on. So now they're using the RICO like how they used it for the drugs back then. Back then, the drug dealers stimulated the economy back then. You understand what I'm saying? Because while you got us going out buying $100,000 Mercedes, buying house, buying champagne at the club, throwing block parties, all that is putting that same money back, injecting it into society. So we was the stimulus checks, if y'all can understand the metaphors. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what do y'all have to say about that?
I'm gonna give you a perfect example. All right. What's her name again, Daddy? Pardon me. Did the 6 years?
Saint Laz.
Saint Laz. All right. Give you a perfect example how the feds is, man. Say you come see me one day, right? And I'm being watched by the feds. You come see me 2 days, I'm being watched. They indict me, but they see you on my block a few times. They're gonna put you on my case, and the only reason why, because they already gonna do their background check on you and see, oh, he just came home for doing 6 years. Mm-hmm. So now when they lock us up, they're gonna say, well, Your Honor, Lazarus, he's a career offender. He keeps doing this and doing that. So automatically they're gonna try to career offender you, meaning they're gonna take the time that you already did and double that time just because you did it in state already. So that automatically gonna start you at 15 years because they say you're a career offender. You know what I'm saying? And you like, hold on, but yo, I did my time a way back ago. That ain't got nothing to do with this. But the feds, they gonna use that to double your time, homie. That's how they play.
You mean just associating with somebody that they got on their investigation?
Basically, they're gonna say because you already have a criminal record. So basically, this because you're associating with me, they're gonna try to say something was going on. Meaning is nobody. What they're gonna do is they round up everybody and they're gonna try to say, yo, what's the kid was coming in the black car over there for? Well, I don't know, but he probably was getting something from Mack. Just because that person say he think, and in your record, they're gonna try to double your time. Mm-hmm. Listen, I was with Unique got charged with. I got caught up with 40-something people. It was 2 different projects. I ran one project, they ran the other project. But no, they didn't have no co-defendants on me. So it wasn't nobody to say, oh yeah, I got 2 keys from him. He got 2. They told me, listen, you was this close from getting charged with CCE. Mm-hmm. We've been investigating you since 1995. My case goes from 1995 to 2009. So I'm like this, and why y'all ain't come and get me in 2000? Fuck y'all waiting to come get me 2009 for? Because people was talking, but they never had nothing on me to come and get me. So when they rounded up everybody, they knew for sure, yeah, I don't have no co-defendants, but I still got charged as a leader with no co-defendants. Another nigga from that side of the street who was facing 20 years decided to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, I was getting work from him in 1990. Oh yeah, his brother, I was selling work for him and his brother. Oh yeah, but since they didn't have nobody on me, they went with that. They went on right along with that, and gave me 210 months. 210 months is 17 years. Just on the note of that, homie, the feds play a whole different game, man. They play a dirty game, man. A real dirty game. Unique was talking about a book called Busted by the Feds. You can read so much about this in a book is in black and white about what they can't do and what they can do. They don't give a fuck about that book because they're going to do what they want to do. And just alone because of your record, and you get caught up with something and get a secret indictment, just alone on your record, they're going to try to punish you alone. They're going to try to give you time because you already did time. That's how they play.
You know what's crazy? Like, me and Mack was standing outside on a corner in front of the store. And we was actually talking about, I remember the conversation. I said to him that line from the movie, quitting and quitting while you ahead is two things. I think it's time to fall back. Right after I said that to Mack, police helicopter is over the store. Mack throws up his middle finger at the helicopter. They came and got him 5 o'clock that morning. That next morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, they came and got everybody. So it's like, for people that's watching, right? Now you got a dude that raised me in the streets. You know, just the mental part of actually hearing the feds came and snatched my brother. It was almost like going to it's like a funeral without going to a funeral. Because you know when the feds come, it's like, damn, you just and at that time it was like so many people don't understand. Like at that time, it was so many of my brothers that was snatched away that went to jail at one time. Yo, that's the most hurt, the most painful thing. People gotta understand. When you go to jail, if there's somebody outside in the street that loves you, it affects them too. And see, that's the selfishness that we have when we get caught up in these streets. If there's somebody out there that loves you, especially your mother, your children, your siblings, when they love you, it affects them. That bid that you doing, some of them are doing it mentally too. It scars them.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Hey, what do you think about the RICO, Chef? Because you know, I like the way you break things down on your platform. Talk to the youth how you feel they're using the RICO now to get the young gangbangers and rappers and just blacks the way they did us with the drugs, with the continual criminal enterprise. Talk to the people, you know, to give them, you know, your wisdom on how you see them using it and what they could do to stay away from it, in your words.
Well, first, I was taught that any charge that we do or any criminal acts that we do, we earned that. We didn't catch a case. We earned the case. We put ourselves out there. We can't continue to say that I caught a bid, or we can't continue to blame the system. Automatically, what we do as criminals or criminal thinkers, we blame the system and we become victims once we go inside. Oh, they locked me up for this, son. Oh, they did this and that. And we never say the part that we played in the act. So when it comes to the RICO Act, I think that what they do is not, I think that, but what they do is, if y'all over there hustling, and they know I ain't hustling, they know I ain't got nothing to do with it. They know I'm a good kid. I spoke to these kids in the Bronx not too long ago. All them little young brothers that got locked up, a couple of them, their family was up there. So they was like, yo, they locked my son up, this and that. But they locked them up. They had nothing to do with it, but they just want to have some of them because they know they have nothing. When they get them in that room, they know they're going to be the ones to talk and to give up that information because they know they got enough. So if you're an innocent person in the street, you just walk up, give them a pound. The feds is watching this dude. They're going to snatch you up too. They know you. They don't only snatch you up because they're going to use you to tell on it. And they know you're going to tell because you got nothing to do with it. And when it came to them kids, first thing they mothers and fathers was doing, like, yo, you better say something. You're going to go to jail for something you didn't do. You know what I'm saying? So now the case is going to become stronger on you. And that's what they use when it comes to the feds. Even with the state, they use the same type of tactics. And just touch on when it comes, when you first go into the system, which is one of the most degrading things. I call it the dehumanizing center. How you got to go in there, you got to strip naked. Lasno and downstate, you in front of that desk, you got to strip naked, the shower behind you, they spray you with that bug juice. You usually, when you go take a shower, you go, you get a haircut, then you go take a shower. But in there, they put you in the shower, then you go get a haircut. So now you're getting it cut, you got patches on in your head. They don't, yo, what size you wear? I wear extra large. Give them a large, give them a medium.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Got the tag on your name. Now you become cattle. They done gave you a number. So as I reflect and I started thinking back, I'm like, God damn, I'm a fucking number. I'm an animal. They wouldn't even put two horses in one stable. They got me double bunk with a motherfucker. Then from downstate, it's straight to Sing Sing. I go to Sing Sing. I've been in all the matches. So when I get to Sing Sing, the crazy part is this, right? Majority of all of us here that been to prison, we already built our mind for that shit. From looking at the older guys talking about prison, coming home from jail, glorifying it. So we start glorifying and glamorizing it. So when we get there, we like, oh shit. Now we looking for the things that we heard as far as for me. That's what I did. So when I got to Sing Sing, I always heard about Sing Sing. You hear about the gangsters that been there, from the mob into black gangsters. So when I got there, I was ready. I was like, damn, this is where it's at. This was popping at. And I was still young. So I was on the loose. And from Sing Sing, I went to Elmira, then to Auburn, see motherfucking head get chopped off. Everything. They get stabbed in the yard over drugs. Like, it was crazy, man. But
all right, this what we gonna do. This what we gonna do, because you just mentioned getting head chopped off. I'm gonna tell you about the craziest one of the craziest ones that I've seen, and it's only one of the craziest because it was a correction officer. Now, I said this on my on the platform. It's on one of the videos. I think I just put up a day or two ago. I was in Atwater, and it was a young boy in there, right? He was about 22 years old. He was Mexican. His chest was way out here. He was wide. I mean, this dude was ridiculously, big for his age, but he's been in the military all those years. I went in the office, and Chef, you know how you go in the office and say, yo, can I get some toilet paper? You know what I mean? And you try and hit every shift so you could stock up. You know what I mean? Because you don't know when it's going to lock down. And you need that toilet paper and the writing pen and pencils. So you'll tell your celly, yo, go get some more toilet paper. Go get some more whatever. When I went in there and asked this young man, I said, yo, can I get a roll of toilet paper, please? He said, negative. You know what I mean? So I said, nah, I like a roll of toilet paper. He said, negative. So I said, yo, what's wrong? You know what I mean? He said, nothing, sir. I said, yo, so why are you talking to me like that? Where I'm from, that was a disrespect to me. Him talking about negative. You know what I mean? With a straight face, and I'm not used to hearing no negative. So when I'm hearing negative, I'm thinking he's saying F you. You know what I mean? So I said, yo, you got an attitude with me? And he said, no, sir. You know what I mean? And then I had to ask him, so what's the issue? He said, no, this is the way we're trained to talk, sir. I said, you talk to your kids like that when you go home? He said, yes, sir. I said, damn, you all the way screwed up. You know what I mean? I said, well, you got to tone it down in here because, I'm from a different mind state, so I could kind of analyze things because I went through a lot of psychological training to figure out a lot of things why my mind was screwed up, just like why I'm thinking that you're disrespecting me just by saying negative with a straight face when I never heard the word negative. So when I'm hearing it, I'm thinking he's saying F you. You know what I mean? So I'm telling him that you're going to get into a lot of problems with that. So now one day a Crip coming through the metal detector, and he go through the metal detector, and the metal detector go off by the bottom of his feet. He had a shank in his shoe. So he called the dude back. The dude ran in the back by the Crip cell, because the first 8 cells, which is right in front of the TV out in California, those are all Crip cells. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Fat Cat and the whole crew. You know what I mean? But so when he ran down there, yo, Haas, you got to come out and come back in because your thing is messing up. Oh, there you go. So when he ran down there, the police shut the door. He went down there to go chase the dude, but he done passed the knife off to somebody. You know what I mean? So now he stopped the move, and people trying to come in to get to the shower, people trying to come in to get things to go out, and it caused chaos at the door. So he calls the lieutenant. When he calls the lieutenant come up there, and the lieutenant asks what happened. And he said, no, one of the dudes went through the metal detector and it went off, and I went after him and I shut the door and I this and that. So he said, okay, first of all, you never shut the door because that's one man. And second of all, you're going to have plenty of knives here. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't stop the movement for a knife. Did you catch him? He said, no. So if you didn't catch him, you go back to running the prison in an orderly manner. You understand what I'm saying? And this dude was so mad that the next day I go in his office to go get some toilet paper, and he got the bed book out, and he's pulling out all 8 cells, picture card, and turning them sideways because he planned on shaking them down. So I said, what you getting ready to do? He said, nah, they got over on me yesterday, so I'm going to shake all of them down and take they photo albums that's too big, they extra books, they extra this, they extra that. I said, my nigga, you do that, you going to cause a problem in here you don't want. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to think twice before you go, pushing something. You went home last night. When you went home last night, you should have got with your kids, your wife, ate something, hugged your kid, kissed them tonight, made love with your wife, come back today with a new day. Right or wrong, Chef? You know what I'm talking about? Right or wrong?
Facts. Yeah.
You know, you feel me, Hassan? You agree with that?
Oh yeah, the CEOs love coming to take out their anger on the inmates. They get into a problem with their wife, you gonna feel the results of that.
You see what I'm saying? So now, the next day when he do that, he go and he shake down one of the cells and he take a dude big photo album, a Crip dude photo album this big when it's only supposed to be this big. So he take the photo album and he called the lieutenant. So the lieutenant came up there and said, nah, come on, you got to get up out of here. You know what I mean? We got to move you out of here because you're going to wind up getting hurt. You know what I mean? You can't bother these men. Whatever happened yesterday happened, leave it alone. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, they moved them to the other side of the jail. Now I'm going to leave it at that. You know what I mean? And we're going to come back to this story because I don't want to do all the talking. But what was some of the things you seen these young COs do that they didn't understand our mindset, our geographical, you know, mindset and, you know, our respect level that, you know, we took as a disrespect that they didn't know was a disrespect? What have, you know, you, let's say, last seen that you can speak on? And then I want Shaft and T-Mac to speak on it.
You know, I was way up in the mountains in Franklin and Camp Gabriel and where they got the real rednecks at. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, I was young, so I was beefing with police all day. They was calling me Ticketron at one point because I just kept getting written up until I got tired of that. You feel what I'm saying? But I got into it. You know, I caught a tier 3 ticket and got kicked out of a jail and all of that because I got into it with a police who had a black baby with the noose, the dead black baby with the noose around his neck tattooed on his arm. You feel me? And he was treating me and my crew in the jail very disrespectfully and slave-like. You feel what I'm saying? And me and him ended up getting into it. Big, crazy, long story. But I was in the mountains where the police can't stand New York City people. You feel what I'm saying? So if you young and you wild and all of that, bro, they was doing all type of foul shit to me. All type. My moms was sending up packages, 35 pounds of all type of shit. They wasn't letting none of that shit in. You feel me? Like other dudes, they would, you know, they wouldn't stress it like that. All right, go ahead, take it. But with me, they was like, nah, you can't get none of this. And it cost so much money to send back home, I would have to just throw it away. And that means them niggas take it and keep it. So basically, my mom sent a package up, they deaded me on that shit and taking it for themselves. Because it cost from where we at, that shit cost like $80 to send back to New York. I ain't had no $80 in my account.
Now you got donated.
Feel me? Real talk, yeah. Donated to them niggas. You feel me? So that shit was whack. But I had beef with all type of police, bro. They was doing all type of racial shit, writing me up tickets that really wasn't like shit I ain't even do. Nigga just sit down and creatively write a ticket of something just to get me more time, to try to get me kicked out the jail. You understand? So I done been in so much drama with them niggas. Eventually, I just learned to stay the fuck out their way. Know what I mean? And don't say nothing to them niggas, because you never win with them motherfuckers.
And yo, I want to say this. Everybody keep getting on me last because, you know what I'm saying? You know how we talk, nah, I mean? You know what I mean? They talk about if they take a drink for every time I say nah, I mean in the video, they get drunk in the mud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could turn that off, though. If I needed to absolutely turn that off, I got the switch to turn all of that off, man. But you know what I mean?
Nah, we ain't trying to turn it off, brother. We ain't turning it off. This is us. We want them to see how New York talk. You know what I mean? That's like when I bring Cali podcasters up here, I want them to hear how they talk. You know what I mean? So we ain't gonna turn nothing off and all that. I enjoy when they say those comments. Now I want people to speak on this right here. And I'm gonna start with Shaft because Shaft told me a story about him with a female CO. So what do y'all have to say about female COs are the most dangerous? How would you break down a female CO? Because a lot of people think, why would a female CO work in there, and why would they man or their husband allow them to work in there? You know what I mean? So what do you have to say about the female COs, Shaft?
Oh, nah, when it comes to female COs, that was my thing when I was locked up. That's all I did was push up on the females. Bagged a couple of female COs. That was my thing. And the crazy part is when I was fucking with them, each CO chick that I was fucking, they always had somebody they had it out for. So I feel like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why you got a problem with him for? He cool. Because I'm in there with him, so I know him. I'm cool with him. But she got a problem with him. And she would tell me, and I would go put him on point. Yo, listen, man, She's saying this, she's saying that. Yo, just fall back from that. Don't even go over there. You know what I'm saying? So I go back to her and tell her, like, yo, you got to leave him alone. You looking at him like he bad. Look at you. You fucking me.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking me and you motherfucking getting on him. She like, no, fuck that. I'm the, you know, but it's crazy, man. You got not just the female. I mean, the female, when it comes to Sing Sing and like Sing Sing, some of the mediums, when they got a lot of females in there, Green Haven, that's when it gets stupid because them females become the black COs, the black females. They be straight grimy, man. They be doing a bunch of bullshit. They treat us like shit in there. Like they real dirty.
But you know what though, Shaf? I think the male black COs do the same thing. It's like they feel they have something to prove. What you got to say about that, Haas?
They want to show off in front of the females. That's why they do it. If they trying to fuck a female, they going and she say something to you, he gonna be extra. Like, what? Put your hands on the wall. He gonna be extra with it. And I went through that. You know what I'm saying? I went through it while I was fucking with a CO, and her man was there, and he stepped to me. I'm going on a visit with my wife, and he stepped to me like, yo, another CO searching me. He came behind my ear and was like, yo, stay away from my girl. I turned around. Tell your girl to stay away from me. Nigga, fuck you talking about? Because I know if we set it off and we start fighting, the administration gonna want to know what the fuck is you fighting him for? Like, what's going on? So you're fighting over your girlfriend? You know what I'm saying? So when it came to him, I just went ham. But they try to go extra when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, like females and guys. The men act stupid. Even on Rikers Island, same thing.
All right.
You know, but that's what I'm saying. What experience did you had, Haas, with a female CO?
I mean, on Rikers Island, it's like the COs, everybody's fucking on Rikers Island.
Oh, hold on. Let me say this. Tone down the F word because
right.
To hear this.
Everybody's screwing around on Rikers Island. So when you get into a beef with the female officers, you get into a beef with the male officers. See, the thing that I had some beef with female officers on Rikers Island, but what balanced it out is that I also had family that worked on Rikers Island. So anytime I got into a problem, sometimes with female officers, there'd be another female officer that'd be hitting the dep up saying, get him out of the box. So everything that they would do to me would get undone. And that was causing a lot of problems on Rikers Island, especially in the 4 building. In the 4 building, when I got in trouble, as soon as I get a ticket, that ticket would be thrown right out. So they used to be tight behind that.
Okay.
So that's what helped me out a little bit in the 4 building, because most of my time was spent in the 4 building. So that's what really helped me out with the COs, because I had family members that were COs. So it kind of helped out a little bit. And they would put a word out like, he's such and such family, leave him alone. Until I got into a problem with ERU. When my first altercation with the Turtles, it wasn't a good one. They used to do this thing where they come in the house and they tell you to put your toes to his heel. And I wasn't really feeling that the first time I had to go through that. So, the ERU dude, he pushed me, he shoved me, right? And I pushed him back. When I looked to the side, it was like this 7 foot, 400-pound white dude that punched me in my goddamn stomach. And I was like 50 pounds then. So when he punched me in my stomach, I didn't realize that I was like folded up, laying over his doggone fist up in the air, dropped down to the floor. So I went to charge him, but I didn't have no breath. And that's when the sticks went upside my head. They didn't give a damn about you looking like a baby being 150 pounds. They didn't give a damn about that. They beat me mercilessly. That was a hell of an ass whooping. I hear on Rikers Island now, it ain't the same no more. They pepper spray you. But in the early 90s, man, that the ERU ass whoopings, dudes used to go in their cell and not wake up.
Okay, Haas, tell them what the Turtles are. You mentioned Turtles. I know what they are, but let the people know what the Turtles are.
Well, back in that day, that was like you take the COs that look like linebackers. All they do is work out and whoop ass. So when there's a cutting going on or there's a search going on in a jail, they pretty much come inside the house and see what I hated about them is when you cut somebody. We got beef from the streets, or we got beef over some commissary, whatever it is. Whatever you do to another inmate, they gonna do to you with them sticks, them unbreakable sticks. Those were. You ever got beat so bad you just wanted to call your mama?
Huh.
Yeah.
Hey, let me give him one real quick, right? I was in Lewisburg when we had the riot in Lewisburg, right? T, remember the riot in Lewisburg? I know you heard about it when you came in later. Well, we terrorized Lewisburg back in the 90s. This 95, right? They call it the crack riot. Now, he mentioned about those unbreakable sticks. The police in Lewisburg, they used to tell us that they soak their batons when they get them in gasoline. You understand what I'm saying? Because that makes it heavy and the gasoline fills up the little air particles in the stick. And that's what makes it hard. Then after they soak it in gasoline for a few days to get it waterlogged, then they put it out in the sun and give it a sun bath to let the sun dry it up. When the sun dry that up, that's like steel. I had a police named Rambo. He used the axe handle. You know what I mean? Helped me down on the ground while I was handcuffed behind my back, spun me over on my back, and stood over me with an axe handle. And me, my man T-Rock, you know what I mean? All of us that had gold teeth coming out of Harlem, coming out of New York City, you know, back then in the 90s, because remember, gold teeth was in. They held us down and they took the axe handle and banged us in our mouth to knock out our gold teeth. Because they say they them city boys. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it was so vicious, you know, in that joint that you can't even fathom. And it's like all the police is related to each other. They grew up with each other from elementary school. So whatever you do, you automatically wrong, and they all sticking together. Now I want to say this. Somebody asked on the screen, there's a question. I'm going to answer it from a Fed point of view, and then I want Laz 10 toes down and Haas to answer this. They said, Wham, okay. Can you have the panel address the effects of the California gang culture effects on New York? I'm gonna say the East Coast gang members, and how the California gangs embrace the New York gangs when they touch the feds. Now, I'm telling you what I seen. All I do is speak about me. That's why I said at the beginning, I support all the other channels that I named. You know what I mean? The 1090 Jake, you know what I mean? The 050 China and all that. You know what I mean? I support all of those channels. But now, when you go out there, they don't feel that way. You know, I wasn't raised in the gang culture, so I was believing that we all in this together. But when the young gang members came from the East Coast, whatever work had to be put in, they'll send an East Coast gangbanger to go put in the work, even if they were short. They won't gamble losing one of their own. You understand what I'm saying? Out west, they'll gamble losing one of us. And you know, like I said, what I seen, they tried to treat the East Coast gangbangers, you know what I mean, like torpedoes. Torpedoes is the ones you sent out to go on crash dummy missions. But then we had good blood brothers that came out there, like my man Skeet, you know what I mean, from Queens. Skeet came out there and he got order. He pulled up on all the old head bloods in the yard, and he let them know straight up, yo, you're not going to be sending my people out there on no torpedo missions. You know what I mean? Because a lot of dudes that was coming out there from New York and New Jersey, because there's a lot of Patterson bloods that I was meeting that was coming in. If something happened, they'll send them to go stab somebody. You know what I'm saying? And they might have, like Laz said, 6 years. Already been in 4 years, getting ready to go home in a year. And they'll tell him to go stab somebody and jeopardize screwing off his bid and never going home when they got dudes that's doing life. You understand what I'm saying? So my question to you, Laz or Shaft, you know what I mean? Because Hassan was just speaking. How did y'all see New York embrace West Coast gangbangers in the New York State prison system?
You mean actual dudes that was from Cali and all of that in New York?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or you mean you mean the gang culture?
No, okay. I just broke down when I was out west, what I witnessed, like in Atwater and places where I was at, the older gang members from the West Coast, they was throwing the East Coast gangbangers in the front line to be torpedoes to carry out missions, even if they were short. When they got dudes that got life sentences and they not sending them to go crush nothing, knowing that they scheduled to never go home, even though they fighting their case. But a dude,
I ain't see too many West Coast dudes in in New York prison, man. Like I ran across a couple here and there. Now, I mean, I knew a couple of Spanish dudes that they was from Cali and all of that, but I never personally ran into too many dudes from the West Coast in New York State prison.
What year was you in New York State prison when you didn't witness this?
I was up north from 9-3 to 9-9, and you know, I was around a whole bunch of the gang shit, but not too many dudes from West Coast. You know, it was a couple of dudes, they be like, yo, that dude is from Cali, he a real Crip or he a real blood from Cali. You hear that every once in a while, but it wasn't that many that I ran across personally.
Okay, Chef, what year you was in the system? Because you just came home in 2015 or something like that?
No, I came home 2012.
Okay, so what did you witness being later? Because he left in 99, so you had that decade. What did you witness to answer this question for the people?
As far as it wasn't too many people from the West Coast in New York. Cause like me, I first embraced gang culture in Bloods when I was in Indiana. I was locked up in Kokomo, Indiana, and that's when I first got a whiff of it, got down with it, was part of it. You know what I'm saying? I was young. So when I came to New York, I used to be trying to get people, they did like, what the fuck is that? Nah, I ain't trying to hear that shit. I'm talking about when I came to jail. Yeah. And so first we started a gang called MBK, My Brother's Keeper. Then it was COB, combination of both. Then it was a whole bunch of different gangs, but at the same time, it was the Latin Kings. And then that's when Blood came. But it's always like that, though. Whenever it comes for somebody to get hit or somebody got to get something done to them, it's always sending somebody out that got the less time. There was a time where I had the power and control, and that was the thing. When you get that power, you lose control. And that's what happened with me. I was losing control. I was sending motherfuckers on missions, telling yo, go cut him for nothing, for dumb shit, for having beef with the guards. You know what I'm saying? So, and the dudes I would send with dudes that had small time, 3 years, 5 years. With dudes like me, I got 15 to life. This dude got 20, he got 30. You know what I'm saying? So I know how it is, but it wasn't too many dudes from the West Coast over here.
Well, let me ask you this, because you said that when you had the power. So you got the power and somebody violated and had to be, checked. You got a guy that's going home in 2 or 3 years, and you got a guy that got 30 years. Who would you send, Chef?
It don't matter. I don't give a fuck if you're going home. That ain't my problem, nigga.
Okay, you should. I'm glad you said that. I want the youth to hear that. Now you tell them, what are you gonna do if they say, man, I'm going home in 2 years? What's the next move?
That's what happened. Look, and the crazy thing is this, right? After all of the years of me doing that, and then now I made the parole board. After 21 years, I'm about to go home. I got a couple of weeks to go to fuck home. And the same dudes who church lights, they didn't say shit. Now they was trying me. Come in the bathroom. And that was my shit. My thing was come in the bathroom. I don't want to escape. Come in the bathroom. Police ain't there. This is what they told me, come in the bathroom. Well, I mean, one dude, he said, yo, come in the bathroom, bitch ass nigga. And I'm sitting there, and he's sitting in front of everybody. I'm like, go ahead in the bathroom. I ain't going in there, nigga. I'm going home. He's like, yeah, I know you bitch ass nigga. And look, just that feeling of like, damn, being powerless. What am I going to do? Am I going to do something because everybody looking? Is my ego going to come in? Like, what the fuck I'm going to do? So these young boys now today, they think that they going to jail with 1 year, 6 months. Look at Caballo. You know Caballo last?
I know of him.
Yeah, I know Caballo. That's my man. He went in there small time. I know mad dudes that went in there a year, end up doing 20. I know dudes that went in there with 2 years, end up doing 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So don't think because you only got 6 months. Don't think because you just in there for a robbery, a grand larceny or some shit like that you coming out. No. You be doing 30, 40 years. And don't even know. I went there with 15. I had plans of being home on this date. I ain't come home until 6 years after.
Okay, we got a question for T-Mac. T-Mac, they asked you to talk about your Fed stay. What was your Fed stay like? Somebody would like to know. L Famous Boogie Down, G4 Real.
Shout out to L Famous.
Shout out, homie. I go back to when you said the first time you went in there. First time I went in there, we went to MDC. So you know, I never did a bid. I never did a bid. This was my first bid. Everything I did in the state, if you got a couple of dollars, I beat it. I had attempt murder, I beat it. So this was my first time going to jail. So when they put me behind that door, I'm going, what the fuck is going on in here, yo? Like, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it was something to adjust to. But you know, when you run these streets and you know what comes with the streets, you got to prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? So I adapt to my environment. You know, it was as simple as that. I got to do the time. I did the crime. I got to do the time, but I adapt to my environment. So it was, everything is on how you move. How you move around, that's how people judge you. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't out there running around trying to do this, trying to be with this person, that person. I was laid back just doing my time, man. You know, I ain't bother you, don't bother me. And we keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't hard. It really wasn't hard at all. You know, the only thing was hard was just missing my family. You know, that's basically what it was. But other than that, man, I had to do the time, bro. So it wasn't nothing to stress about. Do my time and go home. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, I got to adapt to your environment. You know, I've seen a lot of people can't do that. You know what I'm saying? They rather do it the easy way. You know, and that's not doing the time. You know what I'm saying? They rather do it the easy way. You know, but it is what it is. You know? And to get back to you about that the gang thing, like, you know, like you said, we in the Fed, so we deal with a lot of people from everywhere. You know, I had people from Alaska, I had people from Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? I had I had all the Spanish dudes from Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? So that gang culture was, like you said, is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen what you was talking about, how the California dudes send the New York dudes to go do their thing, you know, but at the end of the day, you can't knock them. You know why? Because you chose to be in that gang. So if you were part of that gang, you got to move with that gang. You know what I'm saying? So what you gonna say, you?
No, finish, then I'm gonna say it. Finish.
So I seen how, you know, I stayed on the East Coast. I never went on the West Coast, but there was a lot of West Coast dudes there. You know what I'm saying? But they wasn't really trying to feel how the East Coast was moving. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, you know, I don't deal with them. They different type of gang. But at the end of the day, you're all under one flag. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, they was kind of moving crazy, but they was still, most of them was moving. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, you know what I'm saying, like you said, it's kind of messed up because East Coast gang don't have the type of respect for the West Coast gang. East Coast gang don't have the kind of respect for the West Coast, and vice versa. So you know, it was kind of crazy.
All right, I've been in three federal prisons out in California. I was in Lum Park in 2001 to 2003. I was in Atwater from 2006 to 2010, and I was in Victorville from 2018 to 2020. So I spent almost a decade out west, and I've seen it all. Like me, I've always been independent. That's why, like, I roll and I get along, you know, with the DC brothers. I get along with the Chicago brothers. I get along with Detroit brothers. Big shout out to Turk. You know what I mean? Best friends. You know what I mean? You know, from Detroit. You know what I mean? You know, flexing them. You know, my man Larry Moe from DC. Welcome home, Antone White. Let's get that right. Antone White, a good brother from DC, just came home. His co-defendant Eric Hicks just came home. You know what I mean? We got good brothers coming home that had life sentence. Now, Antone White was, you know, one of the big voices out there because they don't say shot callers. You know, we on what we call man time. We all men, so we come together. And if it's an issue, we go in the yard, we call a meeting, and we let them know that somebody from another car came and told us that somebody in our car violated, and then we come together as men. Big shout out to Titus, you know what I mean? Mario, you know what I'm saying? ER, you know, Big Red, Rat, you know what I mean? We got all types of men out there, LA, but everybody come in the yard and we all men. So it's not like a shot caller. So we speak like such and such did this. You understand? And the blood said, you know, this. You know what I mean? So then we find out if that person is right or wrong. You understand? If they're wrong, they're wrong. Period. Even if they're a homie. We don't ride with bullcrap, or we're not going to lose our lives for, you know, for foolery. You understand what I'm saying? But we're not going to let no one from another car check anyone in our car.
Oh, for sure. For
Let's
sure.
get that right. No one from another car is going to put their hands on anybody from our car. If you allow that, then now you're showing weakness.
Right. Right. Right.
So you come to us and tell us, and we go to the yard, and you know all the big names I just said. Let's say from DC, if it's a DC issue, they speak on it. Then now let's speak on our big homie, you know, Lou Sims. You know what I mean? I know
Shout out to Lou.
Yeah, y'all know him as Homicide Lou. You know, Farris. You understand what I'm saying? The lynch mom.
140th. You already.
Wherever Lou go, Lou runs the joint. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to give you an example of Lou so you understand. I was just telling this to OG Daniel. Big shout out to OG Daniel. He always doing the giveaways, and he did the Heaven Up in Harlem to bring the brothers together so that we know each other, so we're less likely to kill each other. That's the motto that OG Daniel is pushing. These are my brothers. You understand what I'm saying? But now, Lou Sims go out there. I come after Lou left. I came maybe about 5-7 years after Lou left. We talking about 7 years later. When I walk in the room, in the dorm, they got like 20 TVs out west. I never seen 20 TVs in the dorm. But what they do is they pacify the inmates. If a man is sitting in front of a TV like this, watching sports or National Geographic or Gangland or, you know, Empire or Love and Hip Hop, he's less likely to cause a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So they give all the cars they own TV. But being that we out west and we get sent out west for disciplinary actions, meaning like when I was in Allenwood, you know what I mean? I was selling a lot of heroin on the compound. Not proud of it, not saying it to brag or none of that. You know what I mean? But, you know, I was selling a lot of heroin on the compound. They couldn't catch me, so they bought an SIS there that came to clean up the compound. He sent me out west. When I get out west, you know what I mean? I don't know nobody out west. We talking about the other end of the country. You understand what I'm saying? So ain't no visits no more. You only getting 300 minutes a month on the phone. You know what I mean? But it's only a handful that go out there because it's a handful of what they call the bad boy them send out there. You understand what I said? So they send Lou out there, and when Lou get out there and he walk in a unit in Atwater, they didn't have an East Coast TV. They got a Blood TV, a Crip TV, a Sereno TV, a Border Brother TV, a SURAT TV. They got everybody got a TV. You understand what I'm saying? But we didn't have one. You understand what I'm saying? So Lou, being the aggressive man that he is, that stands on what's right, you know what I mean? He went and took a TV and said, this is the East Coast TV. Went and got his knife. Whoever got an issue with it, bring it to me. You know what I mean? I don't need, my homeboys ain't getting involved. You understand? If a nigga got an issue with me taking this TV, this is how Lou told him, come see me. You understand? But of course, we there to hold him down. You know what I mean? But Lou moves as his own man. You understand? So he wound up taking a TV that here it is 2020, and we still have an East Coast TV out west. You know what I mean? So I'm saying this to say to the young boys listening, you willing to get your knife to go take a TV? You willing to get a knife to get on the phone? Right or wrong, man? What's the phone system like in the state? One of y'all tell them what the phone system is like as far as that free phone on the island, so they understand.
That free phone on the island, a lot of people got cut over that phone. When press that down and out, it was over. On Rikers Island, yeah, it was a problem.
You understand?
That phone was definitely a problem. You had to be somebody to be on that phone.
Good. 10 Toes, you were saying something?
Nah, like you said, the phone was straight out. It wasn't no collect calls. You just pick up the phone and dial like you home.
So who got on that phone and who didn't?
Somebody.
Well, I can tell you right now. It depends.
You gotta go right in and get the phone. So let's say if you wanted prime time was from 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock into click meaning until the phone cuts off at like 11, 11:30. So if you want anywhere between that time and people that has phone time, you can have a half an hour or you can have an hour on the phone. If you want it, let's say if I use myself for example, I just come in the house. If I don't know nobody in the house, majority of the time I knew somebody, but when I come in the house, yo, the house I came from, I had my time. I had 9 to 10. I come in there, yo, who got 9 to 10? Yo, that dude over there got it. All right, well, let him know I want that time. So
okay, he say, nah, you can't get that time. I use that time. I talk to my wife.
Over here, nigga. I don't care. He ain't gonna say that. He know once somebody come and tell him he want that time, you know where to meet me at, nigga. I want that time.
I'm not, but that's what I'm saying. I want you to tell them. I want them to understand that they have to be able to stand up like 10 toes.
You gotta be able to
sit on the phone.
Stand on that. So when you come in there, you tell them I want that time. You meet up with him. You could go knife to knife. You could go razor to razor. You might not have nothing. He could have a knife. You might have a knife. He don't have one. And you're going to fight it out. You know what I'm saying? And then you got it where you can go in the house, take the phone off the hook, take the mouthpiece out that you talk through, and put it in your pocket and go to the back of the house and just be like, yo, I got the phone. What's up?
Mm-hmm. Now, who's going to go in the back and tell 10 toes, yo, I want that phone, and I'm ready to fight for it in your pocket?
See, here's the thing, right?
They're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to fight you. They're gonna have to get it.
That's what I want the young. 1 second, Haas. I'm gonna let you go right now. But that's the point that I'm making. I want the youngins to understand that you have to be able to fight for what you want.
That's right.
In the prison. So if you're trying to get into prison, no, you got to fight. But we telling you don't get involved in it, so you ain't got to put yourself in that. Now go ahead, Haas. My back.
See, here's the thing, right? You're gonna hear a lot of stories on jail stories on Rikers Island, or how dudes took the phone off the wall and went to the back, right? I'm gonna say this. A lot of the times when you hear dudes talking about how they took the phone and they just went to the back, if you didn't get challenged, you was in a soft ass house. Depending on what house you went in, you go in certain houses. 4 main, 2 upper, like Mart to certain houses in the 4 building, Mart 9. If you went in certain houses and you pulled that, you're gonna have 30 niggas stabbing you and cutting you. In order for you to go in certain houses, you had to go in that house, spend some time, get to know a couple of dudes. Or when you took that phone off, you didn't want to stay in that house. What you had to do is you took that phone off the wall and clocked somebody just to get out of that house, because you didn't want to be there anyway. But going to the back of the house, in certain houses, that's just like saying, okay, all 5 of us is on this panel. If you come in my house and I'm already established and I control that house, I don't even have to. As soon as you take the phone off the hook and you walk to the back, all of the doges is going to jump on you because they want to be somebody. So most of the time, the niggas that got busy in the house, the reason why they stayed, they had it in the house, and they wasn't never really going to the box like that, because as soon as you act up, the little niggas is going to jump on you.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't getting no fair one.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Let me give you one, right, from what 10 Toes is talking about. I was in Virginia Beach, you know what I mean? And I used to claim the phone. I used to, my laptop dying out, battery low. I used to claim the phone. From like 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock when it cut off. I'm in the shower one day, and while I'm in the shower, they calling phone time for the next day. They do it every night. Dude called the phone time, and I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? He said he wanted 8 o'clock. I said, nah, everybody know I got it at 8 o'clock. He said, man, I call 8 o'clock. You understand what I'm saying? So now he was from DC. But now, soon as I get out the shower, I went and put my stuff on, and I just went right up in his mouth, and we started rumbling. We fought for about 15, 20 minutes. It was a good fight. I ain't taking nothing from him. I mean, we was rumbling. But I'm saying when you do that, you know the consequences to it, you know what it is. But like he said, he moving the unit, you better believe he know other people in the unit too, not just the goons in the unit. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you know, in other words, the people that might be established, you're going to have your car there. You're going to have all of them there. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, the whole moral of this is just to show you that you got to fight just to get on the phone to call your loved ones, man. You know what I mean?
Somebody asked a question in the chat, and it was basically pertaining to, you know, the benefits of being in a gang. And I'm gonna say this, like what I want y'all to understand. You join a gang, from my experience on Rikers Island, it's different from what's going on now. You join a gang on Rikers Island or go upstate, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be protected. What it means is you fall up under the wrong person, like 10 Toes Down just said. I was telling dudes to air this one out and air that one out. You'll find yourself like Tankhead. Tankhead was in jail, and it wasn't so much that people was telling Tankhead what to do. He was just bloodthirsty. He was on Rikers Island. He turned a 3 to 9 to 26 years. So you find yourself in a jail, and it's being ran by gang dudes that's extorting and doing the things that they do, and there's a war going on in that jail. You better be prepared to catch a bid, because in my era at time, it's like dudes be talking about, yeah, I turned blood in the street. Well, the reality of it is when you turn blood in the street, it really don't mean nothing because you're not really putting in the work. It's a difference to when as in the early 90s, when you became blood in 93, 94, you became a blood. Then those Puerto Ricans was tearing your ass up. You didn't really want to go in certain houses, in certain buildings, throwing up that blood sign. And then even still, you know, like how Lucky Dawn broke down. Okay, so now you made it. Blood's got established on Rikers Island. Once we took the power and we got power on Rikers Island, you went to certain jails like Green. Woo-wee. Dudes didn't want to get off that bus because those Latin Kings and the Yetas was not playing. It took a while for the Bloods to be able to position yourself. So it ain't always a benefit with like, all right, you just protected, because even with the homies, they're going to test you. They're going to test you. They're going to make you put in work. You coming into jail and you just throwing up a gang sign and you thinking everything is going to be all right. Nah, it don't work like that. It's not going to work like that.
Mm-hmm. It be your own people that be testing you the most. Your own people be flipping on you with that shit. That shit is a bunch of politics that come with that. You ain't just coming into jail claiming nothing. Niggas gonna want to know who you be.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk.
I hope you youngins listening now. You got to come reestablish yourself and show them who you be and what kind of rep you got from the street. Then you got to show them that you're willing to put that rec in and that work in on the inside. Now, somebody read that question on the front, and let's start talking about that question that Willie asked.
Which one? That's on the screen?
Yeah, on the screen.
Yeah. I can't see it.
Oh, why can't an individual just do their time and go home? That's a question. Why send someone to hurt someone? Question. You all have done something wrong. Just pay your debt to society and go home. What's wrong with that?
Take that one, Shaft. That's you, because you already said you was in power.
Why can an individual just do their time and go home? You do got individuals that do their time and just go home, that stay to themselves, that's not with no gangs, that's just to themselves. Nobody messes with them. They quiet. And if somebody do mess with them, somebody will step up for them. You got people like that. But at the same time, you always going to have yin and yang. You're going to have people that come to do their time, or people that come to do everybody else's time. Why send someone to hurt someone? Well, depending on what the circumstances are. If you in the gang, or even if you're not in the gang. Let's say if I'm not, and that's a gang over there, I don't fuck with gangs. So then now it's going to become a problem, because the gang going to think they can just do what they want to do. So now me and my people, the neutral, what is known in prison, they neutral, they going to come together and going to have to smash you out. Or whether it's the Muslims, the 5%ers, whoever it is. So you can't just think you're going to go in there and just do your time and just come home. It's not going to happen like that.
Let me say this, because he touched on something. Like, I was considered a neutral because I'm not in no gangs, and you know what I mean? I'm Jamaican, but you know, I don't go sit over at the Jamaican table all day, but I go tap in with my peoples. I'm from New York. I go tap in with the New York people. I'm Muslim, so I tap in with the Muslims, and I just do me. But at the end of the day now, if something happened with one of these different brothers that I'm tapping in, or a black person, and it involves another race, then everybody get involved, even us, what Shaft just, you know, labeled as neutrals. You understand what I'm saying? If the Spanish, the Latin Kings, or you know what I mean, or the Serenos or whatever, they get into something and they violate a black person, now all that, what gang you from, what state you from, what set you from, what crew you with, all that go out the window, and we come together as one. Because in the federal system, when Mack come back, I'll let him elaborate on it. In the federal system, the way it works is you know, the white dudes, the Spanish dudes, the Indians, everything deal with each other than blacks. They just don't deal with blacks. So it's always the blacks against them. So you can't say that, you know, he's a blood, so I'm not going to help. And, you know, a Mexican inmate jumped on him. You understand what I'm saying? That's when everybody got to come together. I'm going to give you one about Raybrook. I went at the Raybrook 2007 coming out of MDC, ran into my man Quan, and big team from 112th Street was out there. Big Un from Brooklyn. It was men out there. But they were sending all the West Coast. Okay, if you mess up on the East Coast, like I said, you go on the West. I was selling all the dope in Allenwood, so they sent me out West. So whoever was selling all the dope in Lum Park or Victorville or Atwater, they sent them out there. If you in the FCI, they sent you to Raybrook. So Raybrook was really like a little penitentiary. You understand what I'm saying? They send me out to Raybrook, and you got all these Mexican gangbangers out there that have been gangbanging since birth. When they came out there, you got the Border Brothers, you got the Serenos, you got, you know what I mean? You got everybody out there. You know what I mean? They come together and they moved as one, the West Coast Spanish people. You know what I mean? You see T-Mac agreeing with me. They move as one when they come out east. You understand? So that's why we needed men like Antone White, Lou Sims. So when they out west, they had to let the younger brothers know that forget the differences that you had on the East Coast. Now we're on the West Coast. We got to put that aside so we can survive because our numbers are small. So we can't make them smaller by saying he from New York. So, you know what I mean? I'm not going to help when I'm from DC or I'm from Baltimore, I'm from Philly or whatever. So we have to come together as one. The Mexicans already did that when they went out west. I'm on my way up to Raybrook and Quan telling me, yo, send a message to honor them when you get out there. They the big homies. Let them know they looking bad down there because the Spanish dudes is carrying the blacks. They had a joint where it was a Panamanian Muslim brother that you know, speaks Spanish fluently, but he was on his dean and he went to Juma every Friday and made salat with us and all of that. Now, he was pressing one of the Spanish dudes because he speaks Spanish that was weak and had the pack. The pack is the drugs. You understand? If you got the pack on the compound, the wolves is going to come because everybody's trying to eat and you can never give them enough. Whatever you give them is not enough. Let's get that straight. You know what I mean? So now he went at him as a wolf at the sheep. You understand? The sheep went and got his other little sheeps to come together. Dude standing up in the hallway in Raybrook where they got 3 microwaves, 1 in the middle and 2 on the end. Dude is in the middle microwave, 6 o'clock in the morning. Everybody sleep because it's an FCI. So dudes feel they can sleep. It's not like the pen. They got to be suited and booted like the story I told on Unique Mecca Audio with the Latin Kings and the Louisiana car when they crashed out. You know what I mean? So now 6 o'clock in the morning, everybody sleep. The dude was pressing, you know, the Panamanian was pressing the sheep. You know what I mean? The Mexican brother. So they went there and everybody put their coffee in early morning. And, you know what I mean? As soon as dude turned his back, they pulled out their coffee and threw it in his face. You know what I mean? It had magic shave in it. It had piss in it. It had shit in it. You understand what I'm saying? And it had coffee in it and water. So it was liquid. And it was boiling hot coming out the microwave. Dude, they threw it in dude's face on both ends because dude was bigger than them and they were scared of him. And then they grabbed him while he busy trying to scratch this hot shit and piss and magic shave off his face, screaming. They grabbed him, pulled him in the hallway, and they beat him like he stole something. And none of the brothers helped him because they was all asleep. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, that started, you know, the beginning of a problem out there. You know what I mean? So now when I get there, that was after that. So I let them know how they looking down there because they talking about how they let them get away with that because then the Spanish dude went to Juma on that Friday and he talked to the Muslims and let them know those were some renegades that did that. They wasn't really with us and the Muslims took that. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of brothers wasn't feeling it. But like you said, a lot of brothers was trying to go home. So now when that happens and he goes to the other side, now when I get up there, I let him know what it is. Now you got a New York brother that come down from Comstock doing his state time and winds up in the feds in Raybrook. So while he was in there, he aggressive dude, and they got him in a 8-man cell with the Mexican brothers because there was no room. And that's like the first step before you get your own room. So he's standing up in the doorway. He eating a tuna fish sandwich, watching the Knicks game. And you know, you eat tuna, it falls out the bottom. So it fell on the ground, and the Spanish dude didn't really want him in the cell anyway. So they told him, come on, man. You know what I mean? Clean that up. And dude said, come on, man, I'm watching the game. Get out my face. I get it when I'm done. And dude had an issue. You understand what I'm saying? And from him doing that now, they said, okay, we're going to take care of him. They waited till they locked in. It was 2 dudes in there, one dude from D.C. and one dude from New York, the aggressive New York dude. At 3 o'clock, they do count in the morning. After the basketball game at 3 o'clock when they did the count, dude turned around and police walked by, and they went to whooping this dude and stabbing him and all of this. And the D.C. dude didn't do anything to help. You understand what I'm saying? At the time. Now, if Antone White was there, he wouldn't go for that. You know what I mean? But this the way they handled it, equivalent to if Antone White or Lou Sims was there. The next morning when they opened up the door, everybody got together, New York and D.C., and they said at 12 o'clock when they call mainline, that's chow, that's time to eat. When they call, you know, the move for mainline, that's when they open up all the doors and let everybody go down to eat at your leisure because it's a medium. So when they called that, all the blacks took off on anything that was named Mexicans in their unit and started stabbing them and rumbling. You understand? And it was one of the biggest riots that they had in Raybook in a minute. It was so big that they locked everybody in their cells for the shoe until, you know, SHU, until they got, that's like the hole. They turned the cells into the hole because they locked the compound down, and they did the DHO process, which is the court process, you know what I mean, and transfer who they wanted to. So being that I already had a riot on my jacket, first thing they did was grab me and set me up to Fort Devens, Massachusetts. But the brothers stood strong and they fought them off. But it took a minute for them to understand what was going on, because it was like you got the Bloods from 155th, then you got the blood, a different set from 154th, a different set on 153rd, and they all on one Ave. But if something happened with one of them, first thing they're going to say is, man, you know, he ain't in my set. So that's weaker than the numbers. So I had to explain to them, you know what I mean? So I had to make sure that everybody know to move together as one. You understand? When an incident happened that deal with people outside, you know what I mean, from a different race. You know what I mean? So it didn't matter if you was a Muslim or a Christian or from Ohio or Pennsylvania or New York or Georgia. It was the blacks against the Mexicans because the whites was going to roll with the Mexicans. That's the way they do in the feds. Am I right, T?
Oh, you definitely right, homie. You definitely right. Because that's how I was in Fort Dix, Daddy. You know, you had the MS-13s, the Serengos, and this and that. And at the end of the day, they was beefing with each other. But when it comes to us on the East Coast, they definitely got together.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's a question. What was that question? Put that last question back up on the screen. Okay. Joining the gang, you really learn it be your own gang that be your enemies. Now, it's not just the gang. I'm not going to blame that on the gangs. That happened in the cars too. You know what I mean? Only person you're going to have a problem with is a person that you call a friend. As long as you don't use that word, you good.
Now, in the state, majority of the time, a lot of the times, the gang be going against each other.
Okay,
yeah, definitely, yeah.
But the question, okay, Chef, the way I interpreted the question, correct me if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. That's what this panel is about. We could agree to disagree. So let's say that. But explain this to me. The way I interpreted the question is, and the way I'm taking it is, I know that from doing prison time, you know what I mean? I know from doing time that you only have problems with your own. You understand what I'm saying? Very rarely you have a crash dummy that across the line where a white boy would disrespect a black dude or try and steal from a black dude's cell. If somebody steals something from your cell, it's one of your own before it's somebody else. Correct me, all of y'all, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, a lot of times it's your own as far as skin complexion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? I just want y'all to understand, you know, that's watching the youth, that we trying to prevent from winding up in these environments that we chose to put ourselves in. Because one of the brothers said that, I think it might have been Sheriff or Hassan, that we earned the case. We didn't catch a case. Who was that said that? I like that.
Ten Toes said that.
Yeah, that was a perfect example. We earned the case. We knew we was throwing bricks at the penitentiary when we was out there selling drugs, stealing cars, cashing checks, or scamming. So we earned that case.
Oh, he definitely earned it. Yeah, he definitely earned it. I felt the same way.
Let me ask y'all, with the feds, right? Do y'all have certain people in the feds, like the state, that's like known names that when they come somewhere, everybody pay homage to them?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give you an example. When I went, okay, I went from Lum Park to Coleman Penitentiary, Coleman 1, when they just opened it up in 2003. I told you I was in Lum Park from 2001 to 2003, then they sent me over there. Now, this was a joint they just opened up, so they tried to handpick who they put in the joint. When I got on the pound, we had dudes out there. I'm gonna call some good names so y'all understand. We had Boy George on the compound. You understand what I'm saying? We had Pizza Face Mike on the compound. We had my connect from the street, David Hyatt, on the compound. We had what's his name? The Haitian brother. He testified at my trial. Big Chuck. If y'all from Brooklyn, Laz, you ever heard of Chuck, the Haitian? Big Chuck?
I think so. I think I heard that name before.
Yeah, well, but he official. He got a brother named Franz. His name is Gene Oscar. You know what I mean? We got men out there on the compound. King Tut was on the compound. So we got D Nice, King Tut, we got Chuck, Pizza Face Mike, Boy George, David Hyatt. We had Shamik, we had Fat Manny. All this on one compound. You know what I mean? These are all brothers. That Fat Manny passed away, rest in peace. Shamik passed away, rest in peace. Shamik and Fat Manny, you from Brooklyn, brother. So I know you heard of the Unknown, the crew, the dope crew called the Unknown.
Facts.
Stamp on their package.
Facts.
Okay, that was Fat Manny, Shamik, True God. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I just named 10 names that everybody's a kingpin and everybody's a god. You understand what I'm saying? So now, when you come on that compound, you got to show your paperwork that you're not hot. You understand what I'm saying? So now I go out to the yard just coming on the compound. Big shout out to True God. I think he home now. I ain't talked to him since he been home. True God came to see me. He bought me a care package, you know, with some brand new Reeboks, brand new sweatsuits, shorts. Shamik bought me the food. You know, that's Manny, Shamik, and True God. They all co-defendants. You know what I mean? So now they are, matter of fact, I got pictures. If I would have known we was going to mention it, I would have brought the pictures up. But they brought me a care package. When I go out in the yard, I see all these men that I know from the street, and some I was in other places with. D Nice was just coming in out of Brooklyn. I know y'all know who D Nice is. You know what I mean? But when I hit the compound, it was a little young dude that was younger than me that don't know me. When he saw me talking to everybody, and I still got on my bus shoes because they didn't call a move yet for the homies to bless me with my care package. So now when he see me, I just look like, you know what I mean, a scraggly another inmate off the bus, and they telling him, oh, that's the homie, because we don't use the word big homie. You understand? Said that's the homie because it's all big niggas on the compound. So we don't say Big George, Big Shamik, Big Manny. The little dudes might say that, but we just call him Manny, True God, you know what I mean, and so on. But anyway, dude said, when the dude said, yo, this is Unique from Harlem, he said, all right, so what's up? Who's seen his paperwork? You know what I mean? And then, you know, Oscar from Brooklyn, you know, Chuck stepped up and said, nah, you know what I mean? That's the big homie. I testified at his trial for him. He went to trial. He 100% official. You understand what I'm saying? So I didn't have to show my paperwork. You understand what I'm saying? Because people already knew me because they knew my caliber. And that's how the feds work. You understand what I'm saying? Like Lou Sims or Farris come on the compound. They don't have to show their paperwork because we know that they men. Unique come on the compound. You know he's a man, so you know where it's at. They know who it's geared to. You understand where I'm coming from? And that the movie they just had the other day, the Raising Canaan, when they just killed the one-eyed kid. But people wanted me to do a live on it, but I'm trying to stay on my prison theory, but I'm gonna tie this into this. In the feds, you don't move on somebody unless you got paperwork. You don't call somebody hot unless you got paperwork. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I really enjoyed that scene in that new Raising Canaan when Rock was pushing the issue because the cop told him that he saw Scrap in the back talking to the police, so he feel he's a weakling and he worked with the police. Nobody heard what Scrap said. So you don't know Scrap was telling them, you know what I mean, go suck the Frank stand or whatever. You know what I mean? Or get up out of here. You don't know what he was saying. But because Rock heard it from the cop that she trusts that he was weak, she wanted him dead. Her two brothers said, nah, where's the paperwork? because that's what you need before you move. Nowadays, no disrespect on this YouTube thing. Everybody, you know what I mean? They go with each other and have no paperwork. You gotta have paperwork, man. You know what I mean? You gotta have paperwork before you could sit there and call somebody hot or, you know, any of that. So for Rock to kill dude, and move over a little bit, lads, you know, until 10 toes come back up. Okay, there you go. Yeah. You know what I mean? All right, so let me finish. So where I'm at is that Rock killed him, and if you notice, go back and look at it. The one that's in, I don't even know their names because I don't really in it like that. The one that's dealing with the anger management class, he had a tear in his eye. And he the crazy one. That's the aggressive one. He had a tear in his eye when Rock killed him because he knew Rock was wrong because he from the street. But Rock is a female. She's moving on emotion. You understand what I'm saying? And she went and killed him with no proof. And even the other one that's doing the record label, he turned his back on her. But that's their sister, so they rolling with her. But they know she was wrong because there was no paperwork. And you done did this man in that's been with him from day one. He even was demoted to have Kanan put above him. And he stuck with all of that. He even went into fake like he was down with Unique to do what he needed to do. You know what I mean? Got his shit stomped in and lost his eye. He did everything for them. So the crazy one cried for him. The other one couldn't even look at Rock and told Rock in the face, Rock, I'd do anything for you, but I'm not going to do this. That's because they're dealing with morals and principles, and the way the code work is, you must have paperwork. You must have paperwork. The feds can't hide paperwork. They're not going to hide paperwork. Let's get that straight. They're not going to hide paperwork. I seen the feds throw co-defendants on the same compound. I told about one of them on my platform. You know what I mean? Where two dudes come, one dude come there after another dude been there 2-3 years comfortable, and he bring paperwork that he hot. Then he put out paperwork on him, that put the paperwork on him, showing that he hot. You know what I mean? And then now the dude that stamped, the first dude that was there 3 years. Go ahead, Haas.
My question is, so the feds they don't have to let you know that a person is a witness until they actually go to trial. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm not sure. Like the feds sometimes.
We talking about after they get sentenced and they get sent what y'all call up north. When you get sent into the system, they got what they call the PSI and the sentencing with the probation sentencing report. And then they took those out the system so they could try and hide the rats because they was getting punished because people would say, show me your PSI. And your PSI would show that you got a 5K1, which is a government assistance. You understand what I'm saying? And then they took out the PSIs where now you're not allowed to have your PSI. If you get caught with your PSI, they give you an incident report. It's good time. Go ahead, T.
When you go into the feds, your car gonna come to you and ask you, yo, what's good? Where you from? Blah blah blah. I'm from the Bronx. Blah blah. All right, homie. You know, you gotta show your paperwork. You got 30 days or 2 weeks or however. Now, if you don't know how to get your paperwork, you know, some places, you know, they got the cell phones or whatever. Dudes will go to what is it? Lexus? What is it? Lexus, yo?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Huey, what's that? Lexus? What's it called?
Yeah, the Lexus. That's the Lexus.
They go to Lexus. Lexus is a federal joint that you can pull up an inmates. You get their numbers, you know, 628-42054. That's my number. They're going to pull it up. Your name is going to come up, your case.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some dudes will check it like that, but if some places don't have phone, they're going to give you 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Half of the time before the 30 days come up, if dudes ain't got their paperwork, they go check in before that. They go get up one night, they go to the CO, like, yo, I want to go, I want to check in. What happened? Yo, I ain't got my paperwork, and I already know. A lot of CLs going like, all right. But, you know, dudes is going to tell you from the door, yo, listen, here go a package. They're going to give you a big bag, slippers, showers, food, and all that, because you don't have your property. But they also going to tell you this. If you hot, don't take this package, man. You might as well just go ahead where you got to go now. Oh, nah, dudes be like, oh, nah, I'm good. My paperwork will be here and such and such. 15 days, that nigga's gone. Or they took their shahada. Then they went, they didn't went and jumped on the Muslim scene. They took their shahada.
Oh,
So
you a
now the
Muslim
Muslims is
now.
like, you know, we forgive. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, New York niggas is like, homie, nah, hold that shit. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But you better have that paperwork. Listen, any unit I went to.
Hold up. Let me say this to correct you, because like I said, you know, we you know, I'm the elder here. I did 26 years. When you said that, you know, as far as, you know, the Muslims forgive, no, it's not that the Muslims forgive. You know what I mean? I'm Muslim, so it's not that we forgive. Is that we believe that only Allah could judge us and we'll be judged in the afterlife. So whatever you do here, Allah would judge you. So that's why they allowed them in the Muslim car, and that's why dudes that be hot, you know what I mean, that be telling, that's why they joined that, because that's how it go. But then you still, you know, as far as that, we believe that only Allah could judge us. You understand what I'm saying? That, you know, that's between you and Allah. That's why I said, you know, I don't agree with none of that telling shit. Let's get that straight. I'm gonna always say that. I don't agree with none of that. You understand what I'm saying? But if a man do it, stand on it and know to stand on your side away from me. I'm gonna stand on my side, because at the end of the day, when you go get a job, the man that's signing your paycheck, you got to interview, he's gonna tell if a crime is committed. So you're not gonna tell that man at the job, I'm not gonna take that job, because you would rat if something happened. You know what I mean? So let's get that straight. So that's what the world come to. But the way that, one second, Haas, let me finish this. 1 second. But the way the prison system work is, once you in that prison system, you know what I mean? And, you know, back when I first started, you know what I mean? About 2015, when they started taking out the PSIs after 2010, that's when it changed up, where now, you know, the rats is running around rampant, and it became more of them than us. And T Mack would vouch for this in the feds. I want y'all to speak on the state. In the feds, it's like a dude come and he's a rat. You understand? And then a dude come that's aggressive, that don't deal with rats, that's on some man time. You understand what I'm saying? And he finds out that the dude, you know, that such and such is hot. Once he find out that that person is hot, you understand what I'm saying? And he start talking like, yo, that nigga gotta go. He hot. I was in another jail with him. He did this, he did that. His co-defendant was there. Dude in Oklahoma told me when I was on my way here that he was here. He living comfortably as a rat, and he ain't supposed to be living. You understand what I'm saying? On the compound amongst the men. Once a dude opened his mouth, that's when somebody mentioned something about dropping a kite. That might have been St. Laz. You know what I mean? Where they drop a kite nowadays and say, yo, a dude is here, said he gonna check me in because I told, and his name is such and such. The police is gonna go middle of the night, open that man's cell up that was talking about doing something to the hot dude and lock him up. So that's what silenced, you know what I mean? The men that stood on my time, you know what I mean, from not saying nothing. And when we go to the yard, we in our corner. The men of honor is in our corner, and the other dudes is over here. We don't cross paths with them. We don't put them in our business, but we can live with them. So that's in a small environment like a prison with 1,500 inmates. But when you come out into the world, everything is mixed in. That's going to tell. And I come home to find on YouTube where people saying, if I get caught, I'm going to tell. I never phantom they would say no shit like that. And that's where I'm going to leave that. Go ahead, Hassan. My bad.
Two things, right? One, I want the civilians, right? The villagers, the civilians. These rules do not apply to you.
Exactly.
If you see the young thug out there snatching a pocketbook, lock his ass up. Dial 911 and get him how they say, get him the F out of here. K-Shine, get him out. Those rules only apply to dudes that's committing crimes. Civilians should not have to live in fear of the niggardly shit that goes on in the community. Elderly women shouldn't be getting beat up. The good dudes that's working in McDonald's shouldn't have to be robbed for the McDonald's check. If somebody robbed you for your McDonald's check, dial 911. You ain't got to live in fear. You ain't no snitch. You are a civilian. The villagers don't have nothing to do with the criminals. We outside. We decided if I decide to get in the car and be the driver, and two dudes is in that car, they're about to do a robbery, and I say, hey, I know these niggas is about to do a robbery, and I'm with that, I go down with that ship. We all keep our mouth shut. Now, if you tell me, yo, go bring me over to Webster Projects real quick, and while I'm sitting in front of the store or out in front of the building, you go rob the store, and I'm working a job and taking care of my family, I didn't know what they was doing, officer. You have the right to tell on them niggas. You are not a criminal. You are a civilian. You don't have to keep your mouth shut when niggas is doing niggerly shit. That's not your lane. So I would advise you young dudes out there now, people, places, and things. If you know dudes is living like that, that's not your lane. You give them that and you keep it moving. Because just like T-Mac said, you come on that block, you hang out with me, you take pictures with me, you going down with me in the feds. You reap what you sow. You know what time it is. You see what I'm saying? You don't play around with certain people and certain individuals if you know they live in a certain lifestyle, because when that ship sank, you're going to be just like Casanova 2 times. A dude that made it to the top of the game and he got caught up because you got muscle. You got to keep the muscle around you. You're still down with the street dudes. So when you get caught up, you got to hold it down. BMP, hold it down. But if you are a civilian, you have a right to dial 911. You don't have to live by criminal rules.
Let me give an example. Back in the day, I'm hustling on a block. There's an old lady in apartment 2B. Her apartment face over the front. Nosy B, that's what we called her back then. The nosy B sitting there looking out the window, seeing everything, and got 911 on speed dial, and she calling, telling everything. We knew that lady was telling. So we knew not to let her see what we was doing, because we know that she's not a criminal. And we know she's going to tell. You understand what I'm saying? And she's the one that's in charge of the neighborhood committee and so and whatever. Biggie Small spoke about that in his song when he said the old lady kept calling the cops on him for selling crack. You know what I mean? We didn't go shoot that lady. We didn't go kill that lady. You know what I mean? Because we knew that lady wasn't a part of our team on the street. But now if I'm on the street and a dude snatch an old lady pocketbook, this is back then I'm speaking on. Let's keep it real. I'm gonna give y'all the raw. If a dude snatch an old lady pocketbook and he runs by and I seen who snatched the pocketbook and the police come ask me who took the pocketbook, I don't know nothing. You understand? But I'm gonna check that young boy or old dude. You know what I mean? Say, yo, what are you doing taking prey on the old people like that? You understand what I'm saying? You follow me? Where the streets is gonna check them that you violating, because that's an old lady. But we don't need the police to check us. Now let me give you all this, and I want y'all to speak on this, especially you, Shaft, because you from Harlem for real. You know what I mean? Now we had the gorillas out there. You know what I mean? We had the wolves out there. We had the dudes that if you having a problem with somebody, you understand what I'm saying? If you having a problem with somebody, you selling crack and a dude open up a spot next to you and you want him out of there. You know what I mean? Or somebody kept robbing your spot. You know what I mean? And you wasn't strong enough to protect that spot. So now you'll call one of the wolves, and they had plenty of them, and be like, yo, such and such is doing this. You understand what I'm saying? And they'll tell them, well, give me 10 grand and I'm going to stop that. You understand what I'm saying? We didn't go to the police to say somebody's robbing our spot. You know what I mean? So the locals, the wolves, they was our police. So we kept everything in house. But at the same time, when you go to these wolves and say that somebody's doing something to you and you're not strong enough to hold your own, and you got to hire an outside security force, an outside police, whatever you want to call it, to protect you, that same outside force that you hired is going to take what is yours. That's the Harlem I came from. That's the DC I was in. That's the Virginia I was in. If you ain't strong enough to govern it, you don't belong out there. So if you go hire somebody to help you keep yours, they're going to eventually take yours. They're going to take your money you're going to give them to protect them, and then they're going to take your spot.
Hey, you.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been in my hood. You've been in my project, right?
Yeah, you already know.
My project go from 156 to 158, from Park to Cortland. Yeah. You know, in the projects, it was individuals like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Another nigga come, yo, listen, y'all niggas ain't gonna be doing this, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, when they come to me and say, yo, such and such and such, this and this and that, now you ain't got to worry about such and such because I'm gonna dead you. Get out of here. You don't fucking belong over here. You know what I'm saying? So I already know. You know, I already know how it go. You know what I'm saying? That's how I got a whole project. You know what I'm saying? Because only the strong can survive, baby. If you weak and you show your hand, then it's over. Then it's over, homie. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If you ain't strong, even in prison, a dude go out and go get, I'm going to do some videos on that on my channel, but a dude go out and get the pack. You understand what I'm saying? And he come back in because he got a girl that love him and she willing to bring in the balloons of weed or the balloons of heroin. When that joint come into prison, if you can't handle that, you better believe the wolves is coming to take that from you.
Look, I seen a dude from the Bronx, from uptown. He in jail for white collar crime, right? But he see everybody on the cell phones and this and that, so he want him a cell phone. So he running around doing this and this and that. But this is what he say, you, and there's no disrespect to you. He said, yo, I said, yo, you from the Bronx, right? You on New York time? He said, yo, yeah, I'm from the Bronx, but I'm on Jamaican time. I said, pardon me? He said, I'm on Jamaican time. I said, hold on, but we all, regardless, we from the Bronx. We on New York time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So cool. Now the DC dude, my man, shout out, he's my man. Another dude was like, yo, they in the same room. So the dude sat his phone down and the dude got him. Soon as he get the phone, he knew he took it. What he doing? He going to all the New York niggas' room, knocking on the door. Yo, DC nigga took my phone, this and that. Homie, listen, I thought you was on Jamaican time. Why you ain't hollering at the Jamaicans? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we all get up. Yo, fuck it, come on, let's go. My man, come on. We go. DC dude like, yo, listen, I got the phone. I took it. But he got to fight me for the phone.
All day.
He got to fight me for the phone. He in my room. I already know this nigga soft. He got to fight me for the room. So Jamaican dudes, you know what you gonna do? Nah, fuck it, let him keep the phone. Homie, what you mean let him keep the phone? What you talking about? Yo, you bugging. So what you just did is you just showed that we weak, because now you just saying, fuck the phone. Fight, at least, listen, at least swing 2 punches and it's over with. Just show him that you not soft. He ain't do that. So guess what? He lost the phone. So his mans and them went to the dude and said, yo, listen, homie, you gotta give up the phone, yo. All right, I'm gonna give it up, but it's gonna cost. All right, yo, we gonna give you $500 for the phone. He's like, all right, give it to me. Because at the end of the deal, he left with something. He ain't have nothing, but he left with something. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you show that much little of you weak, it's over with. Exactly. And he was in the room and he showed the DC dude he's soft. So he took advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, you.
Let's deal with that question on the line, because I'm sure they got the point. Somebody read that on the line and somebody speak on that. Read out loud. We can't hear you, House. Turn the mic on.
Yeah, I can't see it. It's too small.
Okay. It says,
after all, you hear me? If after all the brainstorming, no one is convinced to fix the problems in the neighborhoods, then who is saving the youth, the young generation?
All right, let me jump out there on this and then y'all piggyback. I'm gonna give it to them raw. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if 2 of my brothers is beefing, you understand what I'm saying? If 2 of my brothers is beefing and they feel strongly about what they beefing about, and I step in and I talk to each one, you understand what I'm saying? And we trying to fix the problem. And at the end of my conversation, they say, man, screw that, you. I don't like that nigga. I'm trying to see him. I'm going to bow out and say, do you. Now, whoever kill who, but I'm going to at least make an attempt to stop the problem. You understand what I'm saying? So, as far as who's going to save the youth have to be willing to listen. You understand what I'm saying? They have to be able to listen and make a conscious choice what they want. Because you got people at the end of the day would say, nah, I don't like him. I just don't like him. I'm not going to argue with you. If you dead set that you don't like him and you want to fight him, I'm going to bow out and let you fight him. But if you want to stop that, if you ain't trying to see him, I'm going to go to him and say, look, the homie ain't really trying to see you. We all family. Let's stop the bull. And that's that. You understand? But at the end of the day, each man is his own man at the end of the time, at the end of the day. Am I right or wrong, man?
You right. You right.
You understand what I'm saying? So there's only but so much you could do, but I'm not going to lose my life getting in the middle of somebody else's beef. You understand what I'm saying? But because I love my brothers, I'm going to get involved and make an attempt to give my wisdom how I see it and what the consequences could be from that, or the benefits could be from that. And whatever they choose to absorb and comprehend from what I say, whatever their choice is, alhamdulillah, I'm with it and I'm out of it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the way it was back then. Like I said, in Club 2000, man, back in the days, like I said, I was telling somebody about it earlier. You got two buildings next to each other, and they got one alleyway that both buildings put their garbage cans in. That's how New York is set up wherever you go in New York. Now, you got a dude that normally come to the first building, but when he come to the first building, the dude in the first building went to re-up or went around the corner to take a leak. By the time he come around, one of his customers from the first building done came in and ran into the runner from the second building, and he's taking them up the stairs that's in the middle of that alleyway to both windows. While he's walking up the stairs, this dude from the first building feel like the dude in the second building is taking his customer, and we're not letting nobody take nothing from us. So while they walk up the stairs, dude shooting at him in the window, bow, 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 through the window in the hallway. You know what I mean? Even the customer ducking bullets. That ain't got nothing to do with it. He just trying to spend money. You understand what I'm saying? But now all of that went on that day. That night, I got a party in Club 2000. Everybody come to Club 2000, including both of those men. They know when they come up there, Unique is not on none of that. Not on none of that. Unique stand on the truth. And that's it. That's all I stand on. That's why I say I support everybody. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know what I mean, I told y'all straight up, you know, where I was at from the beginning of the show, you know what I mean, that I support all the other YouTube channels. Whatever issues that my brothers have with those channels, that's their issues. I would talk to them and try and rectify it. If the other channels want to talk to me, for me to get involved, to try and mediate it, I'm here, because that's what I'm here for. So that's why, like I said, shout out to WAC 100, AK-47, the Bloods, the Crips, the GDs, you know what I mean, the rappers, 050 China, 1090 Jake, 5 God, Academics, and my nephew Queens Flip. You understand? Bullets Gotti. I mean, everybody got an issue with somebody, but whatever they feel the reason for that issue is them as a man to deal with that. But me, as an honorable man and a reasonable man, I'm going to try and show all fractions the benefits of working together instead of apart. Because I drive down the street. Okay, I had a weed spot on 152nd. So now I'm looking for another weed spot all the way in the Bronx. You understand? That was my mentality. Or I'm looking on for another weed spot all the way downtown, or all the way up in Washington Heights. I come home, they got CVS, you know what I mean, on one block, on 145th, let's say. Then they got another CVS on 146th Street. You know what I mean? Where I was thinking that you had to put them far apart. You know what I mean? But, you know, if they don't have it in one CVS, they go in another. Then they got Walgreens. You don't see Walgreens shooting verbally or bullets at CVS, because CVS is selling the same product they selling, which is the same content that we pushing. You understand what I'm saying? Because even though we go in CVS today, we'll go in Walgreens tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? So even though they watch me today, they're going to watch 10 Toes tomorrow. And then they'll come back and see if I'm talking about something interesting tomorrow or the day after. And if I'm not giving them what they want, which is equivalent to them not having what they're looking for in their store, they're going to go to another store, which is another channel. But that don't mean I'm going to shoot at him that 10 Toes stole my customer or whatever. But that's why we have to know that we in this together, and we have to figure out a way to come together to try and elevate together. You know what I mean? And feed our families. That's what this is about. And respect each other as men. And respect each other's opinion, you know what I mean? So that we could agree to disagree. Like when I talked to my little brother Bootsy, you know what I mean? And he was breaking down what he thought a snitch was or whatever. And I respectfully told him I honorably disagree. You understand? And then I spoke my opinion. And then it's up to him if he want to side with it, not side with it, or say, I'm still on my stance, but I'm going to leave it alone because we all family. But I still believe what I believe. I'm not going to get mad at him because he didn't agree with what I believe. Now, let's speak on the question up here. Please explain. I want one of y'all to answer this. Please explain to these set trip little cats about cars. Some of them might think they're going to have wheels. Somebody speak on that. What you get from that? Or would you like me to read it again? Because, you know, my reading is a little choppy. Please explain.
Listen, man, this is my thing, right?
Yeah.
So I look at it like this. Like I was talking to Fat Charlie, right? You got a bag. Let's just say you got a bag. And in that bag, you got crime, you got drugs, you got rape, you got murder, you got snitching, you got all this shit in that bag. And then we got you, Unique. We're going to put you in this bag. But hold on, before I get in there, you got to tell me what snitching is. I don't tell you what it is. You learn it when you go inside that motherfucker. And that's just what's going on with these young kids today. We got that big old bag with all of these things in there, right? Where there are no rules. But once you get in that bag, they start setting rules with no rules. So you can say this is snitching, but these people say, nah, that's not snitching. This is snitching. This ain't snitching. Oh, no. So you can say, if I see a dude take an old lady pocketbook, I'm going to go and do something to him. But if I see a dude stab somebody, I'm going to mind my business. If I see a dude raping a woman, I'm going to say something. But if I see that when it's all crime, so we start putting rules and once we start doing that, there's no rules to the motherfucking game. That's why when it comes to snitching and people telling, and we look at it like a big, big thing, and because I got told on, and I had a personal thing against people that ratted, you know, but we can't say nothing about it because we chose to go inside that bag. We got to accept everything that's in that bag when it comes to crime, period, when it comes to criminality. As for that question that was up there, I think I answered it in some kind of way.
Okay. All right. Now, Hassan, what you got to say about that, Hassan? Let's hear what you got to say. I don't want to be too long-winded, but
what's the question again?
I apologize.
What was the question again?
Put the question back up there. Well, explain to them, Shaft, what you was explaining, because they can't find the question.
The question was about cars, and I think they were talking about with y'all from the feds about being in the car.
Yeah, that's what they talking about. They talking about cars, yo.
The car got no wheels. Like one of these kids some of these kids think they go get in the cars, but their car's not gonna have no wheels, so they're not gonna be able to roll and do the things that whatever. I don't know, but that's the fact.
Yeah, because you might have some cars that ain't got no structure, so that car ain't gonna move nowhere and do things because I guess what they talking about, the car ain't gonna move with no wheels because the car's not into nothing. So I'm taking it as if the car ain't got no wheels on it, they ain't into nothing, they ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? But most cars, well, I know our car, we move. You know what I'm saying? We had the structure. Shout out to my man, to my OG Spidey. You know what I'm saying? From Harlem. That was my, I'm gonna call him my big homie in jail because I always had the highest respect for Spidey, even on the streets. That was my dude. Him and my brother used to work out and do a lot of things together. You know what I'm saying? When things go on, and Spidey talked me out of a lot of stuff, getting into a lot of stuff in Fort Dix. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I stay out the way, but I'm not running for no smoke. If it's smoke gonna come, I'm gonna go get it. Spidey used to come to my unit and get me. Like, yo, Mac, listen, man, that shit ain't worth it, man. Go home, do what you gotta do, man. Don't get into this other bullshit, man. That shit happened with them niggas. You let them niggas have, man. Stop going to handle shit for these niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? So some cars, if they a small car, they ain't got no wheels because they too small to roll. So they wheels ain't turning. You know what I'm saying? I mean, New York car, we gonna move. we gonna move. No matter where we go, what state, we gonna move. Cause that's just us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Laz, you haven't said nothing in a minute. What do you have to say about all this that we've just said? Let me hear your opinion on something because I'm about to close it out. We've been on here long enough. But go ahead, lad. Give me your breakdown from a state point of view, you know what I mean, on everything that we said. Because I know I was a little long-winded, so I apologize, y'all. I just tried to keep the momentum going. But go ahead, lads.
I mean, you know, in the state, it don't really function like that with the cars. You know, that's in the feds. In the state, you know, it's just boroughs and neighborhoods and gangs and stuff like that, man. So it's a little bit different. You feel what I'm saying? But you know, it's a lot of ins and outs with the New York State prison system. I haven't been in it in a long time. You feel me? But when something I was gonna mention before when we was talking about phones going straight out and all of that, it's crazy because you know I did an interview with a dude not too long ago that recently came home from doing 20 years, and he was telling me that in certain jails upstate, the phones is running like Rikers Island now because the system that they got in now is so cheap. You know, anybody could make a phone call now. Before, collect calls was dumb expensive. You feel what I'm saying? So nobody really was messing with the phones. But now them joints is so cheap. I heard, you know, it's blood phones, Crip phones, Muslim phones up north now in certain spots. You feel me? That blew my mind when the dude told me that was going on in Franklin. Dudes fighting over the collect phone.
All the spots, lads. All them shits.
That's crazy, bro. That makes jail five times more problematic upstate.
Hell yeah. I still go up there, and the phones is you got blood phone, neutral phone, Crip phone, King phone.
That's crazy.
What?
Yeah, that shit crazy, man. So you know, it's just luckily I haven't been back to jail in a long time. No plan on going there. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, others can learn from the experiences and the mistakes of dudes like us.
Yo, I got a question for the whole panel though, right? Can a criminal, any of us or any of you, come home, change your life, and do the right thing and live like a civilian and call yourself a civilian? Can you do that?
Definitely. I mean, you know, I was saying that the other day, man, like we grown ass men. I mean, I'm pushing 50. You feel what I'm saying? It's like we can't keep those same ideals forever from when dudes was 15, 16, misguided in the streets, running around doing stupid stuff. Like when you get to a certain age, you gotta be able to abandon some of those criminal. Listen, this is the illest shit in the world, right? Being a criminal in the United States of America, it is only 7% of people of the population that really adhere to criminality. Like they criminals for life. This is what they into. They gonna forever sell drugs, do this, whatever. That's only 7% of the United States population. We already minorities. So when you become a black or Hispanic, you a minority already, and then you become a criminal, you in a double minority. And basically 7% of the if you only 7% of the thinking of this country, and 93% of people they hate criminals and crime. They don't have no remorse for you. They could lock you up, kill you, death penalty. They don't care. But you only in that 7 percentile that really believes that, you know, it's okay to be a criminal. Bro, you putting yourself in a double minority, and it's unrealistic that you will ever change or come out on top being a 7% minority in this country. So eventually you gotta just do away with that whole criminal mind state, because it just makes your chances of winning so low. Know what I mean?
Facts.
So yeah, man. So you know, eventually the goal is, man, to, you know, find a way to get some bread that you ain't never gotta be in the streets to get your bread. That's the heaven, when you could get bread without, you ain't never got to be in those streets, and then you could slowly pull the people that you care about that's in the streets, you could slowly pull them out the streets too.
See,
that's real. That's real. That's definitely real.
See, here's the thing for me, right? I've been living my life as a civilian. I'm a journalist right now. I'm a blogger. You know, I'm not selling drugs. I'm not in the streets like that. Every once in a while, I might go outside with my brothers or whatever the case may be. But see, there's a thing that with popularity, I have an energy that brings envy. So at any given time, somebody might decide to roll up. Oh, I want to see what's in his pocket. So I'm going to test his gangster because he said he'd been to jail. So people, places, and things, being in the wrong environment, even in the corner store, I could decide to go, all right, I'm going to shoot over to Burnside and University. I'm going to go get me a Budweiser 10 o'clock at nighttime. That one trip to the store can turn me back into the real nigga and not the civilian no more. Because when it's on, it's on. I'm not standing up there dialing 911. I'm going to react right then and there. And that reaction could cause me to be in the penitentiary. Every action has a reaction.
You know why you have a problem when you go to that store? Haas? Could you buy?
Why would I have a problem when I go to the store? Because
you
those
buy
stores.
Budweiser. That's why you buy the motherfucking Budweiser. You drink Budweiser.
You going to buy them Budweisers?
You buying the Budweiser? Who the fuck not going to? What you drinking the Budweiser for, Nick?
Hey,
but listen, I see it like this, and this goes for any of us. How I feel. It's just like what's going on right now, like how I said about the old ladies, these kids is doing this. These kids is not thinking, they just doing. They don't think, they just do. You know, 10, you might have on some nice shades or something. You might be getting some, getting something out the store, or even getting something out the chicken place or whatever. Nigga like, damn, I like them shades. So that right there is going to have you like, if I'm going to beat these little niggas up, or they going to try me. But I'm damn sure ain't going to let them beat me up. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we are at a certain age. But at the end of the day, we still who we are. You know what I'm saying? We still who we are. And we damn sure not going back down at certain, especially if a nigga that's going to walk up to you and try to do something to you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I put it the same way, like, I'm out the way. I don't want no smoke with nobody. I'm trying to live my life, man. I'm still enjoying my freedom. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I got to stay on point. You know what I'm saying? Like old OG always tell me, stay on point so you don't got to get on point. You know what I'm saying? So I always got to watch my circle and watch what's going on around me. Because it can happen. You see what's going on, these little niggas on scooters, they riding around masked up, pulling right up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yo, Poppy, let me get that right there real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think dudes understand, like, the Bronx is different. These little niggas, I'm mad. I was mad at the mayor until I just seen the last video where them little dudes really, really rolled up on the block. One was on the back of the scooter trying to take the dude chain, and another dude just snatched the gun and took his gun. And see, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was indictment right there on Nate.
Yeah, indictment. Yep, exactly, yo. They shot him in the leg first, and then he ran, and they chased him around and caught up to him. But good thing his man and them came and snatched the gun from the dude, from the young boy, took the gun. And I'm jumped back on the scooter.
That's a prime example right there.
I thought he was going to kill him. I thought he was going to kill him, dude.
Yeah, but he couldn't. He tried to definitely pop the dude, but the gun ain't go off.
Yeah, the gun jam.
And yeah, that's what I figured. I thought even he had a change of heart. Like, yo, I don't want to shoot this nigga in the back of his head. I ain't know what happened. But I said maybe the gun jam. You feel me? But that shit was crazy.
In Brazil, they got a law now in Brazil that if somebody roll next to you on a motorcycle, you could run them over. If you look at the news in Brazil,
right,
they just made a law over there because they did. That's where they were starting it at in Brazil. They was rolling up on you with the bikes, grabbing your shit out the car, just going through your window, hitting your window, or just robbing you. They made it a rule. I seen mad videos with them just rolling over the motorcycle. Nigga just pull up next to him. He just hit him. Boom. Roll all over him. You just see mad people get hit.
Oh, yeah.
Hitting them on the corner. Yeah, that's a law now. You could kill them on a motorcycle. That shit got so crazy out there.
It's getting to that point in New York. As soon as a motorcycle pull up to my car, I'm already getting ready because the reality of it is these young boys are riding in packs, and it's like they're not doing this in their neighborhood. That moped allows them to get to your block in 2 minutes. So they come from the other side of the Bronx, riding around. Oh, there you go. He got a watch on, and get you just like that, you know. And then and see the sad part about it is that now these young boys, like because of this COVID-19 thing, everybody else took their mask off, but the young boys. So automatically, as soon as I see you on a moped and you got a mask on, I'm already getting ready. You got to be like that. So in that second, you go from being a civilian back to that real nigga again. Because I'm not gonna call the police if you get me for my bracelet, my jewelry on. I'm not calling the police if you actually roll up. And 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna make it off the block. It's either you gonna kill me or I'm gonna kill you. You're not gonna make it off. And see, that's what takes me. So now all the preaching I did, oh, Hassan Cambell, he's a hypocrite because now this dude done rolled up on me. I done egged him out with my knife or whatever I got on me. And the police is coming because I'm the dumbass that was on the wrong block, and there's a camera up on every block. And then these little niggas, if they get the best of me, they got their mask on. I'm on grown man time. I'm not walking around with no mask over my doggone face. I'm a grown man. But these young boys, it's like you done dangled a bunch of candy in front of them where they actually got a scooter, they got a gun, and they got a mask. Why wouldn't you commit a robbery?
Okay, let me say this. I'm glad you said that. When I first came home, I was driving and I pulled over there by West Side Highway by 181st Street before you go on to Henry Hudson. And, you know, right before, you know, it was a stoplight right there. So right before the stoplight, I pull over. And when I pull over, it's like cars is coming down and they're slowing down, but they're slowing down towards the stoplight, but they're coming too close to me. So as they coming, I'm looking out the window and the person with me is telling me that I'm being paranoid. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm explaining to them, no, I'm staying alive. You understand what I'm saying? If a person get too close to me, I'm going to look. I don't care what my name is, what status I got, because you always got clout chasers. You understand what I'm saying? So they telling me I'm paranoid because I'm always, you know what I mean? You know, watching my surroundings. You understand what I'm saying? But now I'm going to tap off of that. I want y'all to answer this question. My brother said, hey, Mecca Audio, I'm a young black correction officer. Is there anything you can tell me to be a better officer? I would appreciate it. I want y'all to answer that. I'm going to give the short version. First of all, just know that we're still humans, even though we're in a prison uniform. And respect us as men, and we'll respect you as a man. Don't feed into what the white police is saying that they're inmates, because I've never been an inmate. Because an inmate do what he's told to do. You know what I mean? A convict do what he got to do to survive. That's the difference. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that's where we at. You know, so I'm just saying that. Now, I think this is the young brother here. Let me bring him up. Go ahead. Ask your question, brother, so the panel could talk to you. Tell them who you are and where you work at.
No, I'm not the young brother. I'm somebody else. I just see y'all now.
Okay, well, what's your question, bro?
No, I was just listening, man. I mean, I watch Hassan and 10 Toes Down a lot. I like to know, you know, for some of the young guys that may be watching from Philly, we almost had 400 homicides. What advice would you give some of these young guys out here, because they not really listening to none of that shit that we talking about, man? Like none of it. They just doing them. They shooting babies and everything. It's a whole different, you know. I mean, I'm 47, so like, you know, we had. I always teach that it was never really rules to the game. You know, that was a myth, but we had like I would say probably certain things we knew not to do. Like these dudes don't care at all. You know what I mean? You know, and I look at like a lot of the stuff that we talk about online, but sometimes, you know, I get upset. Like even with Hassan and 10 Toes Down, you know, 2 OGs from the streets arguing back and forth online, and our youth is watching that, and the youth watch this shit. You know, a lot of young guys watch this shit, man. So, you know, and I respect both of you guys online, but I be wanting brothers just to be conscious of that, man. You know, when they hear us say, you know, put the guns down, but then they see us banging on each other, you know, that make them not respect us. You know?
Okay, see, and that's why I put this show together, to show that even though brothers have differences, that we could work together to try and save the youth. because this is bigger than our differences, because our differences is personal, but our youth, that's our environment. And if we don't teach them, it'll be one of them to run us over with a car, try and snatch our chain while we driving in the corner, and they pull up on a bike and so on and so on. So, I mean, these brothers, whatever the issues that they have their own reasons for that. And that's why I fall back from it. I let them know that I don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, I don't try and force anybody to do anything. And I love the fact that they both respected me enough, and the youth enough, and the movement enough to come up here and talk to them. Now, I would like both of y'all to answer this brother, because he don't even know who I am, so he don't even know my channel. So he want to hear from you, OG.
I know who you are. I know who you are. I watch it. I watch everybody.
Now, I'm just shooting myself in the leg, because I want these two brothers to answer that question, because that's a damn good question that the people would like to know. As far as what I got that you're saying is that how we telling them to put down the guns when we're shooting at each other, even though it's verbally and it's not with pistols.
Yeah, and remember, they idolize us, like, because a lot of, we 80s and 90s dudes, so we come from the era when the blocks was doing 50,000 a day.
Exactly.
So they look at us as legends, and when they hear us in one breath say put the guns down, and the next breath we gun barring right at each other. I mean, it fucks us up, man. I mean, it makes it waters the shit down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Hassan or 10 Toes, please answer this man. He had a damn good point.
Go ahead, man.
Ladies first, baby.
Come on, y'all. One of y'all, go ahead. One of y'all.
All right, look, this is my thing, right? When it comes to me, right? Never have I ever threatened to kill. When I go at Hassan Cambell, I go at him with accountability. I go for the things that he said and things that he don't do. Whenever I'm talking about him, I talk about fucking him up, getting physical, taking it back in the days, throwing the gloves on. I always let the youth and stress the fact that, you know what? This is how it should be done. If we're going to argue and disagree, we can even fight. I fight with my brother. I fight with my family. I'll fight with them little young motherfuckers in the street just to show you this is how it's done, and we can walk away and live another day. Never have I threatened. So then when I look at it, I say that he threatened me 1,000 times. He's going to shoot me. He's going to kill me. I still don't come back and say, I'm going to kill you. I don't never do that. I always keep it. You're going to kill me? Okay, I'll fuck you up. I want to keep it like that because I want kids to know and just the world to know that I'm not on that time. I already did 21 years. I already did killing already. I already know what the end result of it is. And I also know what it is to throw my hands up and fight, because after the fight, I feel good. I let off some steam. I let off some energy. And
whether you won or lost, just by that, you won.
Yeah, and we can hug and walk away and live another day. That's the same thing with boxers, period. In boxing, when they promote it, they talking shit. They going back and forth. And at the end of the day, they boxing, they fighting, and that they hug at the end. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it is. So we're going to make sure that you and Hassan eventually give each other a hug and put this behind us. And that's what my mission is. Now, Hassan, give us a respectable answer to what the brother said, because he watched both of y'all, and these are the people that gives us the views, and you know what I mean, and spread the word. So what do you have to say about that? Thank you, 10 Toes.
Well, see, it's like the young boys got to understand something, right? This is the internet. Sometimes it could come off like battle rap, where you sit back and you watch Goods the Animal versus Arsenal or something like that, and they battle rapping, and it's like you were like, hold up, he just talked about his mom, he just talked about his daughter. Understand, even though we be having real beefs, it's still on wax. This is entertainment. We're not outside spinning the block, airing things out. So nobody's family has been hurt, as far as like, you know what I mean? There's no deaths, there's no shootings, there's no stabbings.
This is dope. I'm doing great just having them answer this.
What dudes is doing in the streets, there's no backsies. You see what I'm saying? Like once you discharge that gun, you don't cross the line of no return. On the internet, I could sit up there and say, hey, you know what? This is my channel. I'm the king of this section of YouTube, whether niggas like it or not. I can ignore 30 videos, but when it get to the 40th video, I might have something to say. Because you ain't gonna let nobody just keep verbally hitting you and hitting you and hitting you. And every single day, your name is in somebody's title.
Stop putting up these crazy stuff about they don't enter murder capital. That was good. I like that. But that's where we at, man. So that's what we're trying to show you. Go ahead, Hassan. Finish.
Yeah. So when you see like You know what I mean? Jay-Z, everybody wanted Jay-Z's title, his #1 spot. They wanted the spot. I'm the Hov, I'm Nas, I'm the Biggie of this shit. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be confusion. It's gonna be diss videos. It's never gonna stop. Now, my whole thing is for anybody that's an up and coming YouTuber that's really, really trying to make it, I would give you the advice on ignoring people. Sometimes I can't. I just got to be pig-headed. But I would, for the up and coming dudes, I'm gonna tell you to ignore them, because once you put something on the internet, you can't take it back. And what I've learned about being on this internet, you got dudes that I personally feel like that's government agents that's assigned to anybody that has a little bit of sense. Just in case you start speaking too much, they like a library. You know, matter of fact, when you go to court and they type in every word that you say, the phonographer. So these dudes are so nice that as soon as you put something, do a live or you put a video up, they'll take pieces of what you say from the beginning of your YouTube career, even 7 to 10 years down, at the end of it, and you're not really putting it together like, yo, who has that much time on their hand? So now, when you got a big corporation saying, yo, I'm about to take T-Mac and Unique and give them a TV show, and now because you let somebody get up under your skin, and you said, I'm gonna give you a prime example. I just seen the petition that they got on Hassan Cambell. A dude that was my mod started disrespecting me with the rest of these other dudes that was mods, right? I call them agents because they never go away. And one of the dudes, I said something about his daughter being disrespectful, because your disrespect is going to earn my disrespect. If I'm not bothering you, if I didn't do nothing to you, and you come and you disrespect me, I had to learn on the internet, you know what, you shouldn't do that. I grew up in the hood. Well, niggas will talk about your mama, niggas will talk about your kids, and it's fighting words. So I'm thinking after I talk about your mama and kid, we gonna get it on. That's not the internet. You're gonna do that. You have a corporation that's gonna look. You're gonna have I don't know if it's the LGBTQ or some new corporation that's gonna sit up there and say, hey, Pepsi, this is what this dude said 7 years ago about this ugly little girl with nappy hair. What did you say about this little black girl? You're being a racist. Now, I was angry at the time. Well, hold up. So now you're about to lose this $2 million deal because you let internet trolls trick you out of position and say something that you had no business saying, but you was caught up in your feelings and you didn't know how to handle what they said to you. So the best thing to do is have tough skin and learn to ignore these dudes and come with content. The way you defeat these dudes, man, is to keep coming with content. One thing I love about me, for the last 2 years, I got 100,000 views damn near every single day from every video that I put up from different topics. Be the best at what you do. Let your work speak for you.
I just want to say this, right? And I came in through this internet thing in probably about 2009. I came in through Sinetta TV, and I remember for years the attention that you get, Haas, when you go live, you get 6,000 people in the room, is what we was trying to get at that time. Before he went with just dealing with the Hebrews, when it was the street wars and all that kind of stuff. I used to drive from from Philly up to New York, you know what I mean, and be on the show. I think I even had a debate with you like 2 years ago, I was on the show. My only issue is with your channel, the things that we was trying to do 10 years ago and get the attention of the youth, you got it. You got the attention. Like a lot of these channels, when we on here as big homies, because all of us probably got some horrible shit on our jackets coming from the streets. So we come up here and we try to, give a message, and we don't get the, we don't get the following in the manner in which we should. You got it. So, but you got it and not really on no hotep shit. Like you got it where you talking. So we got a responsibility, like a serious responsibility, because now you know how hard it is to get these little motherfuckers' attention. Like it's hard as hell. You know what I mean? So when you like a dude our age and you got 6,000 people in the room, that's like a fucking congregation. It's like a damn church. Like you got, and then you can hold them for 3 hours. It's a responsibility that come with that for dudes our age, because a lot of us can't get that. You know what I mean? So even when you get the hate, like a lot of that shit you gotta ignore.
You know why you're not getting it? I'm gonna tell you why you're not getting it. Because a lot of the older dudes done forgot what pain feels like. They ignore the pain, the childhood pain. See, one thing I realize is that pain is universal.
Monetize this already, right?
One thing I realize is that pain is universal, and a lot of people are not tapping into these young boys. It's like the adults don't care. I did my time. It's like our adults right now is a bunch of deadbeat dads. All you see on the internet right now is a bunch of dudes. I gotta admit it. I created the dirty section of YouTube. You got a bunch of dudes coming home from jail, and all they bragging about is what they did in jail. Instead of coming home from jail and saying the number one thing when you come home from jail is like a fire being in the building. The first thing you do is letting them know, don't go inside that building, it's on fire. You're gonna burn. Dudes ain't coming home from the penitentiary and telling those young boys, yo, don't go in that direction. Like it automatically, as soon as you see the shark, it's sharks, don't get in the water. You're supposed to let everybody know. Nah, dudes is not doing that. Dudes is coming home wearing that bid like a badge of honor with their chest stuck out. So the next generation is running right full speed into the same traps that we came from. So I focus on the youth and what's going on because I understand their pain. The older dudes feel like I don't want to be bothered, or I was around them knuckleheads in jail. They ain't listening. That's not true, because the main thing you got to do is if the 18-year-old ain't listening because that's his path, you got a 12-year-old that's on that way. By the time they get 15 years old, sometimes 13 years old, they're already on their way to the penitentiary. So you got to catch them before they run into that crowd.
Hey, but let me say this though. I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but some of it on the YouTube part of it, some of it I disagree with. I give you an example of what I'm saying, right? I've been on YouTube before you. I remember I watched you come on to YouTube, right? What the one thing you did as opposed to other brothers was you didn't give a fuck. Like you went after the rappers, right? You know, I would call shit out. You know what I mean, I was the one talking about death to the real nigga. You know what I mean, 8 years ago. But what you did was you went after the rappers. You did salacious shit that like our people are addicted to drama. We love drama. So you put the drama in there with the message. What I did was I just created an organization, down here, and I start working with the youth. And you seen my shit, like you seen it. I seen you comment on a couple of things, where we work with. So I didn't go the route that you went, but I just, the reason why I'm talking to you because you do certain shit. Sometimes I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? That's crazy as fuck. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of shit that come with that because I just feel like a lot of shit you say, some shit you say I disagree with, but a lot of shit you say I do agree with. But I just know when you're dealing with our fucking people, if you do call them out on shame their behavior, they want to kill you. They want to kill you for shame and bad behavior, you know what I mean, in our community. So I think that you got the attention because you understood the trauma we went through, and you went right to that. You went right to that shit and said, fuck it. You know what I mean? And I just think that you're willing to do, I think we all willing to do a job because I work with kids every day, but you're willing to go the extra mile, but there's a lot of shit that come with that. There's a lot of other shit that come with that from the streets.
Because you know what it is? With me, right? I'm not nobody's groupie. And in the music industry, there's a lot of sucker shit. You got dudes that's been married to their wives for 25 years, but to tell you bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. So it's like, okay, hold up. Where we going with this? You got dudes that's sitting up there that's millionaires. They're selling you the hood when they live in paradise. That's why I guess when YouTube start realizing like, yeah, we got to get rid of this nigga because now I'm showing you what these celebrities live like. When I get on the plane, I'm going to places with palm trees and exotic hotels and stuff like that. I want the people to see that. But the niggas that got 10 or 20 million dollars, they don't want you to see that. They keep selling you doom and gloom so their album could be number one. I'm not selling that in the album. I'm selling you a wake-up call, and I want you to know, regardless of what, especially with the 30 or 40-year-old rappers, those are the biggest suckers. The worst thing that's happening to these youth right now is the rappers. It's not even the crack game no more. The rap game right now is worse than the crack game. You don't even see drug dealers dying no more. It's rappers. I've never seen so many rappers die in my life. Then you got to ask yourself a question. Okay, you got all these Atlanta rappers and New York rappers all over the place being indicted, federal indictments. Then you got them being murdered. So then you got to sit up there and say, okay, well, the murder rate is through the roof. The district attorney is snatching everybody. Where's all the OG rappers at to sit up there and say, yo, that for the next 3 days, 5 days, stop the violence, hashtag Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They're not doing it. You know why?
But they're not going to speak on it because, so for me, I'll say this. I don't think it's the rap at all. I'm going to tell you why. Hear what I'm saying. It's the culture in our community where we come from. These young rappers come from the Bronx. They come from Philly. Way before rap music, we was killing each other. Before drill music, 1991, we was blowing each other head off. New York was on fire in 1990, 91. With the Bronx had like 600 homicides. There was no drill music. That's what I'm saying. The music is a part of the culture we come from, where the kids are telling a story. When we was growing up, just think about it though, Ten. Think about it, Unique. Imagine if we had social media 30 years ago. The way we was, all the money we was getting, all the guns and the hoes and all that stuff that we had, right? It's the culture that we come from. We need a culture shift. There's a paradigm shift that needs to happen in the community, because now they done gave these kids YouTube, where you could just make up some type of stupid rap, put it online, and then you can get a buzz. So now, back in the day, the gangsters didn't rap. They funded the music industry. They wasn't rappers. Nowadays, these young kids that's gang banging is rapping, but they was gang banging and stuff before they was rapping. So what I'm saying is, if you want the music to shift, you got to shift the culture. In the 70s, here in 1974, we had 575 homicides. There was no rap. It's a deaf culture, real nigga deaf culture in our community that we gotta eradicate. All of us been in them feds and them penitentiaries way before we fuck that music. We was already banging. So, like I said, we celebrated, we normalized the deaf culture in our community, and then the music is part of that deaf culture.
All right, let me say this real quick. So, what you're missing out on, right, is that in today's time, with the drill music, this and the dead, you go to the studio, you put your lyrics down, you disrespect somebody's dead family member that just got murdered. They ain't even in the grave yet. You put the video up on streaming platforms. The algorithm takes that video and put it to the top of YouTube and these other platforms. Then they give you a check. Your first check for that video is $10,000 for that video that you just got. So now what you're doing is you're funding a new deaf culture called drill music. This is why when you see these young boys, right, it is the music. When you see these young boys, right, let me take you to school or something. When they say R&B is dead, it's not just that R&B is dead. Bad Boy as a label is dead. Death Row is dead. All of the labels have been killed off. So now nobody has to really take accountability, because these kids could put their music on the streaming platform, diss the dead, and die 2 days later with the $10,000 in their video.
But let me ask you a question.
Hold up, gentlemen. Hold up. 1 second, gentlemen. 1 second. I want to be fair and give everybody a chance to speak. And I love this because this is showing, old Harlem, as I would say. Meaning, we all could come together to agree to disagree, but be respectful at the same time. We got Ashley Alexander down there and Steve Butler. Now, I hope when I bring them up, they're going to be respectful, and we're going to continue this in a positive manner. But I want to give a big shout out, and I want everybody to know that, I hope my sister monetized this, because I want this to get to everyone. I want this in the algorithm. This is a beautiful program, and I'm enjoying it just to see, and for y'all to see how these two brothers could care about the people, the youth enough to come together and put their differences aside to be able to give these, intelligent answers and respectful answers. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I would like to bring Ashley up to see what she's saying. Hold up, Steve Butler. I see you down there. All right, we're going to bring one at a time, big bro. All right. Come on, Ashley. Let's see what you got to say.
I was just listening from afar. I wasn't trying to get in the conversation. I'm all the way down from Houston, Texas. So we talking about the drill music though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily agree with it. I just feel like it's such a different culture and sound than growing. I'm 34, so it's kind of like I can kind of get the best of both worlds. Like I understand the drill music and the trap sound, but I also like that the real hip hop that I felt, had a real message. Or in I'm not saying it wasn't violence and everything back then, I think that that's something beyond the music, but I do feel like the music today, it definitely sends out, um it's a message to it, and these kids are taking it seriously. It ain't just like old hip hop, like, we just dance and have fun. No, this drill music, this trap music, it sends a message out. It starts wars between these young black men in the streets, and it's serious. So, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I wasn't prepared to speak, but that's just my opinion on it. I have a 14-year-old. I don't necessarily like her listening to it, but she just was telling me about, if y'all know these drill rappers called Osama. They're from Sugar Hill.
Little Osama.
And what she know about Sugar Hill way in Houston, Texas, but she's like, oh, they from Sugar Hill, New York. And one of the little boys is her age, and he got stabbed. So it's like, it's more to it. I don't know what's in the music, but it is more to it. So I was like, I don't know if I would want my daughter listening to it, or I would take her to a concert to support that.
Okay, Ashley, let me say this. You 34.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 58 years old. I've been in New York since rap began with Cool Herc and Cedar Park, T Connection, X's Garage, Stardust Ballroom. You understand what I'm saying? And I watched Sugar Hill came out. I'm from out in Jersey where Leland Robinson, big shout out to Leland Robinson and Sugar Hill Gang, where the first rap record came out that went out on a major platform that had major distribution, right? I watched hip hop from back then all the way to where Public Enemy came in, Rakim came in. Yeah, y'all make sure you hit the like button, because that's why I want this monetized, so that this could get out, so that as many people as possible could hear this, because this is positive wisdom. But I'm saying this to say that I watched the Black Power movement come in, when instead of where we took off the big rope chains from the Eric B and Rakim days to put on the Black Power medallions and things like that. Then it crossed over into Kwame with the polka dots and such and such. And then it crossed over into, like somebody said earlier, talk about Snoop Dogg again. Nothing against Snoop Dogg, I love him. When his first album came out is when I got locked up in 93, and I was out here to buy the first album. I never heard nothing else after that. But I love Snoop Dogg. I love Death Row. But now I'm saying that to say, when I was on the street, the same way you said you don't agree with the drill music, you know what I mean, which you're entitled to, is the same way they didn't agree to rap music. I remember when a dude, I think he was in Texas, shot a cop or shot somebody, and he blamed it on Tupac's lyrics. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same way now they're trying to blame crime on the drill music. You understand? It's just entertainment. When are you gonna hold Steven Seagal responsible for Mark for Death? You understand what I'm saying? When are you gonna hold Al Pacino responsible for Scarface? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, the Europeans, they put out nothing but violence. You know what I mean? And people carry it out because, like, I watched the movie Heat. You got people that go out and try and carry it on. When I was in California, they had two dudes robbed the bank, and they went and got bulletproof helmet, mask, chest protector, arm protector, foot protector, and they ran up in the bank and they had a standoff. This was in 2001 when I was in Lompart. You understand? They got that from the movies, but nobody goes on social media, which we don't have then, but nobody went on the news saying that they got that from the movie Heat, or they got that from this movie or that movie. But when we, as a black people, find a way to come up, they try and find a way to have us feel like we shouldn't be doing what we're doing to get the money. I give praise to the drill rappers. I don't agree with them with the violence that they're committing with it. But as far as they expressing their artistry, artistry, whatever you call it, me, I'm Jamaican, so y'all remind me. You know what I'm saying? But as far as them expressing themselves on wax, on USB or whatever they got now, you know what I mean? That's just them you know, telling about what they see. You understand? Like when we saw the Black Power movement.
Hold up, Mecca. Do you understand the definition of drill rapper? In order to be a drill rapper, you have to kill and rap about it. So when you say you're not blaming it on the music, you have to understand the original culture of drill music was we just killed your man, we gonna diss that nigga, now we gonna put it up on the internet. Don't confuse that. In order to be a drill rapper, the original form of that drill rap that comes from Chicago is drill means that we just killed somebody and now we gonna diss you in a song. Like absolutely not. That part about
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
Now you got dudes that's coming into the drill that's just got that want the sound. You have a few of those that want the sound, but the original form of drill is why you got documentaries all over YouTube where YouTubers are getting rich now, like academics when he first got rich. Now you got New York YouTubers that's getting rich off of connecting the dots of why this one got killed. He made this song, then he died. This one made this song and he died, because drill music originally came from a form of you have to kill somebody, write a rap about it, and diss the dead, and then kill somebody again.
Let me say this. Let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this. Right now, I don't know anything about that, and thank you for sharing that with me, Hassan. Because I don't know. What I'm inviting the listeners to do is get me a couple of drill rappers so that we could have a conversation right here on my platform with Hassan. That's his point. You know what I mean? So I could hear their opinion on what is drill rapping, because that's Hassan's opinion. Just like the videos that, you know, the other people put up, giving up their definition. 1 second, T-Mac, I got you. That they're putting up as far as, you know, substantiating Hassan's stance. To me, as an open-minded person, that's nothing more than somebody giving their opinion of the drill rapping. You understand what I'm saying? But that might be what it really is. So I'm not defending it at all. I'm open-minded. But I would like to really have a conversation with some young drill rappers to see if they feel the same way, or that's just, no disrespect, our, you know, us old heads' opinion of it. You know what I mean? Because I want to learn. I've been going since 1993. Think about that. A lot of them wasn't even born yet. So I need them to teach me if that's really what they on, or this is just us old heads' assessment of their music.
Unique.
Before I make a decision on the music.
I get something from Philly for you. They'll come on and talk. They every day.
DM me on Instagram or email me. We're gonna definitely do a show with this, and I'm gonna bring any one of these brothers back that want to come. And you know what I mean? If academics want to come on, 1090 Jake want to come on, 5 God, but everybody got to be respectful, like, you know, like the people on this panel, so we can have a good, conscious, you know, conversation. Just know when you come in my club, like when you came in Club 2000, you know, it's neutral and it's respected. You know what I mean? And your opinion is welcome, because the First Amendment is the freedom, the right to free speech, and YouTube is not blocking them for making these drill rapping music. So that's why I want to hear from them if that's what it's really about.
Can I say this real quick?
Yes, you can.
We saw when gangster rap came out and how it spread across the country, right? When back in the day in Philly, when Schoolie D was out and he had that Parkside 5-2, dudes was getting blown away. But the Parkside 5-2, he was the first gangster rapper, right? Parkside 5-2 was made because he was from Parkside and he was talking about what they was doing. And it ended up getting put on wax to the point where PSK's Parkside Killers, that's what that stood for, right? What I'm saying is we didn't need the internet for gangster rap to spread all across America, right? And the part, Haas is right when he talk about, we speak on the algorithm part. The part that I disagree with Haas with is Brooklyn in 1990 didn't need no drill. They was already drilling. They was drilling every day. They was drilling in the Bronx. What I'm trying to say is the music today, the difference today is we have internet. Where back in the day, the world was a closed fist. Now it's open hand. You could be everywhere at the same time. So you could do something. What I do in North Philly, I could put it online and it can spread. So all dudes would do is see it in New York. Man, we already doing this. Let's just name it this way. So we already always doing the same thing. And this is the part, and I keep telling our people, black dysfunction is profitable for everybody else but us. So of course, every time we do something, they're going to put it out there like that to make us be the poster child for everything wrong, so they can make money off of it. So we can see ourselves that way. That's why I say death to the real nigga. That not kill nobody, but we want to kill that real nigga consciousness in the mind of our youth, because they inherited from us. We was the first real niggas, and we got it from our OGs. So it's a generational thing. So we was drilling, and you older than me, Unique. So you already know we was drilling on each other in the 80s, during the crack era. This ain't nothing. So this is all I'm trying to say. So these young kids is not reinventing the wheel. They not doing nothing that we ain't already seen. New York had what? 404 murders last year. Well, 1990 they had 2,500 murders. So you want to talk about drilling?
Hold up. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Let me bring the brother Stephen Butler up. He's been patiently waiting because I want everybody to speak about what they're saying before we bring the next person. Go ahead, Stephen. What's your question?
His mic messed up.
Turn your mic on, family. Until you get that right. Go ahead, let the other brother speak. I was with him the other night. Good brother.
You butter.
Yo, what's good, beloved? What it look like? Yeah, I saw the family on here. I love what you're doing, Unique.
Thank you, family.
Yeah, I love what you're doing, beloved. Yeah, you got everybody together. That's what I'm talking about, man.
You supposed to come to Philly, man. I was waiting for you.
Yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I did that trip with the kids to the college. We took 15 kids, like 70 kids from Brownsville to Morgan State. We got this crazy establishment, but I've been working on the curriculum every day, man. So you know what I'm saying? That's one of my legendary works. You know, we getting older. I ain't up there with y'all, but I'm getting older and shit. So I want to make sure what I'm building is solid and stuff. So you know what I mean? A lot of people done talked and built some stuff, but that shit don't weather the way over time quickly. So I want to make sure everything I'm doing is official. You feel me?
So what's your question, big bro?
No, I saw the connect on the family and stuff. I saw my brother George Mack, and I saw 10 Toes, you know, I saw High. So I saw the stream y'all link. So whatever the bill is, I'm with the connect. So that was what it was right there.
That was
all right. Where was that? Because you young. How old are you?
I just hit 41. Okay,
so you're still young. I'm just coming home after 26 years. So I'm just hearing this drill music. You know what I mean? I myself don't really care for it. You know what I mean? But I don't have anything negative to say about it. It's just not appealing to me. Now, I like those Chicago rappers with the Lil Durk and, you know, Polo G, because they telling those gangster stories that I could relate to.
Right.
And that's why I like them. I'm just speaking for Unique Mecca Audio right now. You know what I mean? But I just invited them, if they know any young drill rappers that would like to get on here so we could build with them sensibly, you know what I mean, to see why they doing it. Because Hassan said something. He said that they do it because you have to kill and you have to do this and that to get in. You know what I mean?
I ain't gonna say that. I recorded the biggest drill song out of New York City.
Yeah.
Big Drip. You know what I mean? He say Q in the beginning. He recorded it right in the room over there. Shout out my little brother Favi. 800 Far Inside. It's just a sound. You know, and the young boys got a sound. Like, you know, y'all older, so when hip hop first started, it was a sound for the younger cats. The old church heads didn't understand it. When gangster rap came out, I remember when Wu-Tang came out, my whole everything changed. My whole world changed when Wu-Tang came out, bro. Like, I mean, Redman, I used to wear my hat with the Scully, hair poking out the side, fatigues, you know what I'm saying? I had to have that look. So the young boys, like my man, shout out to Bino, 800 Far Inside, he was just here, and he was showing me videos from Little Durk, from when he first popped. I'm talking about when Little Durk was like 14, 15 years old. I didn't even know this dude existed at that time. He had millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views at that time, and they was already listening to it. They was listening to, what's the other brother? Chief Keef. Chief Keef went viral, I think, at what, 12? He went viral early. And I never even heard his first 4 or 5 songs. I guarantee most of us don't even know. That was only for 15-year-olds at that time. Only 15-year-olds at that time know that music. So the drill sound right now is for that generation. You know what I mean? The way it got popped out, the way it jumped off, the sound, it really is just about a younger generation. Not everything about the sound involves killing, but it also is a reflection of somebody, like they said, their experience. And the internet is carrying the experiences right now. You know what I mean? So it's not like you got to go to the radio to air somebody out. It's like, nah, we just stomped your man out. I'm gonna make a song about it, and then boom. Like, look, Pop Smoke was my student when he first got on. When he got snuffed, he was one of my student. Did that? The one of the kids that did that got killed in 2000. The son that did that got killed. Damn, son, he got killed by police in like 2018 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the circles is small and how the interactions go. You might have gotten herbed one day and then you blew up off of that. The way the internet works is different now. You see what I mean? And so the music reflects that. And it always has. Look at Rod Diggs. I recall we did Rod Diggs. Y'all know Rod Diggs. He got what, 200 years. The video he got all those years for, we shot that video. I told in my mind, I'm like, yo, Rod, why would you put this in a song? Like, this is a certain element you don't put in the music. You see what I mean? And that's so we can't really just hold the kids. That's the culture.
And they young. You know what's unfair, unique?
Okay. This I'm gonna say. I love your content and I love what you just brought to this. But this was about prison. Stay on the joint. After we come off, I'm gonna set something up with the drill rappers, and I definitely want you on there. I'll be honored to have you on there. You understand what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
You know, so I'm just letting you know, I'm gonna start doing this as far as to keep the peace amongst the men. You know, my brother T-Mac getting ready to start his own platform. What's the name of your platform gonna be, T-Mac?
Welcome to the Hood with Mr. Hood, Poon Dog, and Norma Bates.
Yeah, I did an interview with him the other day to pop it off, you know what I mean? And we all working together to blow each other up. That's what my channel is about, bringing everybody together to blow everybody up, to give everybody a voice. You know what I mean? I don't care who got differences. We're going to move together and we're going to do this the old school way. We're going to come together to get the bag. That's it. You know what I mean? Whatever else, that's what it is. Go ahead, Toe.
When it comes to drill rap, right, and rap music, period, I don't blame it on the music, and I can't blame it on the music because there's a mentality. Before the drill came, there was a mentality. The kids are desensitized and they able to dehumanize you before drill rap. So then you got to first target that area. They got poor impulse control. They got no care and concern for human life. How did they get that? That's because of peer pressure. So we got to go back and dig into the peer pressures, the positive, the negative, the direct and indirect of peer pressure. So when it comes to music, that has no effect on no child's brain. That child is under that peer pressure in his neighborhood, directly or indirectly, negative or positively, and he's going to follow that way. All of us, we all suffer peer pressure. Jesus Christ, all the way to the president. It don't matter who it is. It's what path you choose. And when these kids become desensitized, that's now you able to dehumanize people. So I don't see you as a human being no more. I see you as an op. I see you as a piece of flesh, somebody I got to get rid of. So it's before the rap, it's before the music. Because after the music, what they got after they do it, they're not going right up streaming it. It's a feeling that they're going to get. What's that feeling? Why do you feel that way? And that's why when I was away, they always asked me, why did you have the gun? I always blamed it on my environment. I blamed it the way I was raised, this and that. And they'll bust me in the head of parole board. I never fully understood my criminal thinking, behavior, why I did the things I did. Until one day I went there, they said, why you had the gun? I said, because I wanted to kill somebody. And that's the cold side. And people don't want to identify that part of themselves. They want you to see the good in them.
That's what
they came to me with it. I said, I wanted to kill somebody. Yeah, why you want to kill somebody? I said, because I was a coward and I had poor impulse control and I didn't care about human life. So when I went to the club, I wish a nigga would. That was my attitude. Somebody step on my toe, I'm going to pop your head off. If somebody do something with that gun, it gave me power. And now the parole board said, you know what? When we let you go, if we let you go, that's why I was coming home. I said, damn, I learned how to study and understand my ways. That's when I got into psychology and understand the criminal behavior, why I thought the way I thought. I'm like, damn, why am I able to get up and stab another human being? Fuck brother in all colors, just a human being. How am I able to take his life and not see him as a father, a brother, a sister, a mother? It's because I'm dehumanizing. I'm desensitized and not dehumanize people. And plus, we as criminals, we are extremists in whatever we do. We go to the extreme. When me and Haas beef, he's more extreme than me. I'm gonna kill you, suck my dick, you do all kind of crazy stuff, right? He's an extremist with poor impulse control. I'm an extremist, but I control my impulse. All of us have these different qualities that we have, and these kids are under the same thing, and it ain't got nothing to do with music. That's my thing.
Hey, you, on the chat joint, Jay Skills from Chicago said Hassan is half right. Now this is somebody from Chicago saying it. That he's half right.
Yeah, I believe that he was half right too. I believe I don't disagree with that because we was in our cities. We already killing. We just putting it on wax. And
right.
the thing, the part that's unfair to the youth is right. Let's just think about it. Right. Let's just say 30 years ago we had the internet. You watching a lot of these kids grow up in front of your face. So they're like 18, 19, 20 years old, putting everything online, making all kinds of mistakes young. If you'd have gave me the internet when I was 20 years old, ain't no telling the shit we'd have been doing. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, we young, like he talked about the poor impulse control, not fully understanding the consequences and actions, not even understanding intellectual disabilities that a lot of our children undiagnosed deal with. There's a lot of things that's going on in our communities that's not talked about. And then you give them the internet. So that's part of the agenda. That was on purpose. Shut down the labels, shut down R&B music, give these young boys the internet. These young boys that's in the street the internet, and they going to gangbang and put everything online. You think people ain't sit there and think of that? I'm sorry.
Okay,
you know what the difference is?
I wasn't telling you to stop talking. I'm just letting you know that I had something to say when you was finished. But go ahead and finish, and then let Hassan speak.
All right, well, I just land the plane there. It's just that our youth it's our culture. And once they gave us the internet, we took what we were doing and just took it to the internet. So now we put ourselves in the hands of the agenda, and they work it the way that they want to work it. But this wouldn't work if we wasn't already doing it in the first place. That's all I'm saying.
See, here's the thing, right? When people talk about the internet being in the 90s, coming from the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, you had a different type of gangster. You had discipline. When the feds start coming in the neighborhoods and snatching 10 or 20 or 30 people at a time, what they took was the structure. The blocks was more organized. No matter where you went in different states, cities, and towns, the blocks was more organized. Like, I'll give you an example. When Mack went to jail and all those dudes went to jail on Cortland Ave, that's when the killing started. There wasn't bodies like that just dropping on Cortland Ave because the older dudes had the younger dudes in line. So now you got to understand, drill music is coming at a time where the discipline in the streets and the morals and principles that we was raised up under, they don't exist no more. The reason why the killing is not as much as it used to be in the 90s in New York right now, because people still got more common sense and know that they're under the camera. If you take those cameras off of those blocks, the killing is going to go all the way back up. You have some people realize, if I kill this nigga on this camera, I'm going to jail for the next 25 years. That's why a lot of people avoid certain things going on in New York. But in Chicago, and now on the internet, which died down, you know why it died down? If K-Flock and D-Thing wouldn't have went to jail, and some of those indictments that happened in Brooklyn, these young boys wouldn't have went to jail, the drill scene would be even more deadlier. But because the feds came out here and cleaned up all the murderers, it slowed the murders down on the drill scene a little bit. I could sit up there and make a documentary on all of the deaths that came from drill music, and I could sit up there and make a documentary that's a blueprint of who killed who behind which song was put out. Then I could sit up there and put up a documentary showing you how much money these little niggas, you got dudes that's 16, 17, 18 years old, flashing. You ever watch the Instagram where the little niggas take $100,000 and stretch it all the way to their neck?
Yeah.
That money is blood money because the streaming companies is paying these little niggas to kill.
All right, pause. Hold up. Let me say something now. Now, let me say something from my unique point of view. All right. Now, just like you said, you could make a documentary with how many murders was committed from drill music, right, Haas? Huh?
Right.
Okay. And I could make a documentary from how many murders was committed from white Hollywood and their movies. You understand? And from their rock and roll. Remember, they had Cop Killer and all that Ice-T did, right? That was his name. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, it goes both ways. But I want to say this about the internet. I've been gone 26 years, so I'm an old dinosaur. I don't know nothing about this. So, you know what I mean? My whole view on everything is different. And I agree with what you say, Hassan, for the record. You can do that. The same way we can make a documentary on how many, drug dealers that was created from Scarface, because I was one of them. I watched Scarface as a kid. You understand what I'm saying? I wanted to be like him. You know what I mean? So let's get that right. So I'm just letting you know it's a two-edged sword. But now to me, Unique Mecca Audio's opinion, no one else's opinion. You know what I mean? To me, social media was put out there so that the elite, rich, upper middle class, you know what I mean, suburbans could get a glimpse into our neighborhood by us holding a camera on each other, showing the foolery that we're doing. So they don't have to come to 116th Street to see a dope fiend laying on the street. You could go look at a video on YouTube and never leave your house, walking around with your Versace slippers and an expensive robe. You understand what I'm saying? And you're seeing, I saw a video pop up the other day where they showed somewhere in Philly, like the roughest place in Philly where they had young white girls that was on heroin, that was homeless, the same way they got it in California. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what, to me, the internet was put there for, to showcase how the poor people is living, how the other half is living without having to ever go anywhere near us. And they sit back and they watch us going at each other on YouTube. They watch us fighting in the mall. You know what I mean? All that stuff that go viral. You know what I mean? In their Bentleys laughing. You understand what I'm saying? And never have to drive down 8th Avenue. Never have to drive that, down Constitution Avenue. Never have to drive down Avenue D, D in, you know what I mean? Or the Southwest in DC, but they can see videos about it. To me, that's what that was put there for. Go ahead, Haas.
So let me ask you a question, right? Why is it that in this let's say the last 4 years, we have more dead rappers in the history of the rap game ever? Ever. We have more dead rappers. Matter of fact, within the last 2 years, we could go take the last 2 years, 3 years of hip hop. There's more dead rappers within these last 3 years than in the last 40 years of hip hop. How do you explain that?
Can I test to that? Yo, bro. It's I'm gonna say the end of 2010, Mike Beck, G Baby. You see what I mean? I forgot who else, all in 1 week. You see what I mean? Right now, you have a lot more young boys who are in high school, who got fame in high school, and they blew up. And now we know about King Von was just out of high school 3 years. Little Durk is out of high school 5 years, 6 years. Their generation exposed us to them more. But 2010, murders was crazy in rappers. There was still crack going around. You see what I mean? Dudes were still hustling on blocks. The scamming boys wasn't popping yet. Dudes were still fighting over blocks. Blood and Crips was still warring. Like, it was crazy from 2010 before. I ain't gonna lie. I'm in Brownsville. This is MOP block. We could do a cookout right the fuck now in flip-flops, playing drill music, getting woo walking right now when time is boiling. This shit candy fucking sweet in New York. Like it should be happening, but it's so fucking localized, bro. They just had a session. Every rapper, the little kid that walked in, had about $3,000 worth of shit on to $5,000. iPhone, watch, jewelry, sneakers, shit sweet. And they rapping about doing shit that they more than likely, no offense, ain't never gonna do.
Q Butter. Like I said, I want to tap out because I'm an old man. I got to get some rest. Right?
Are you hold up, homie? You say you in Brooklyn right now?
Yeah, I'm right now in Thomas Boyle in St. Mark's.
Mm-hmm. All right. Where I come from where B Love live at. The rapper B Love. I come from Cortland. That shit not happening in calling. Niggas, the rapper niggas is not coming over there to do this and do that. It's not happening,
Well,
homie.
the Bronx is backwards. I ain't even gonna lie. No, right now, the Bronx, the Bronx got a different rep in New York right now. Coming from a Brooklyn head, I'm not going that way to the 9-5. I drive to Jersey.
So that it's like, okay, with Huey, like me and Huey know each other for years, right? So I'm gonna put it to you like this: Huey came out with Ayo. Now if I would came out with shit saying, "Hey, fuck Ayo," and then we go back and forth, that was rap. That was rap. But now when you talk about, yo, this and this and that, and this and this and that, the next thing you know, he done got stabbed or he done got stabbed. It's our culture. You're right, it's our culture. But they taking it too far. We just saying it's just going too far. Like if you're gonna rap the same way when Biggie was going at it with Pac. They was going back to back with songs. Now it's he did this.
Hell no. Jimmy Henson was robbing him. Freaking the studio. I can't believe we still support those white boys who allowed them robberies to get set up, who allowed Bobby Smurber to get locked up, who allowed the feds to leak the phones. Like, come on, like we've been with the ignorance.
But you know where that came from? That came from the hip hop police. We the only culture that got a police to represent it.
Rock and roll got a police too.
Now they got a police. I feel you. Now they got a police. But at the end of the day, we gotta try to show these kids something different, man. They don't know nothing different. They don't see nothing different. If we could show them better, they might can do better. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them kids ain't even been nowhere. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids in New York ain't been a great adventure.
Pause. I want the young lady to speak, but just I'm gonna say this before I let you speak, young lady. What you're saying right now, T, is the same thing that went on back when we was on the street. When I got in the feds, I sat next to so many people on those government planes, handcuffed and shackled for 26 years with people from all over the country of my color that said they have never left their neighborhood, so they don't know nothing but their neighborhood.
Right.
You understand? But that's what this show is for. That's what this platform is for, to show the people that we could come together to agree to disagree. We could come together to have differences and still be respectful to each other, because we have a right to speak how we feel, and it don't mean the next person have to agree with it. When I was ignorant, if I said that Biggie got more money than Tupac and the dude said Tupac got more money, I'm going in his mouth and we fighting. That was ignorance because I couldn't articulate myself. So that's what's happening with a lot of the youth now. You know what I mean? So what I'm doing here at Unique Mecca Audio, while I brought all you power hitters that I thank you for coming up here, you know, is to show them that we could come together and give y'all positive content. And I don't care that I only got 600, watching. You understand what I'm saying? I'm comfortable with 100 watching, because if one is getting a message to see us come together as one, Unique one. You know what I mean? Now go ahead, Ashley, excuse me for that.
Well, I thank you for bringing me up. And to all you brothers, I just want to know, because like you said, it's a lot of agree to disagree about the drill music and the 90s music, hip hop and everything. But what we're seeing is a cycle at the end of the day, right? It's the same cycle. With every generation, it starts over again. Yep. So how can we stop that cycle with you young men? Because we talking about prison, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's going to lead to. The music got the drugs in it. The music got the killing in it. What are we going to do? What is the solution to it? Because NWA was talking about blowing somebody's head off. Tupac wanted to blow somebody's head off. Biggie then was talking about drugs. Cam, them, Dipset, it don't matter, the Ghetto Boys, everybody, from all over.
Gangsta Nip down there.
We were all one culture. But every generation we're seeing a cycle. Where does the cycle end? What do we got to do? That's what we're not getting to. We're not getting to a solution here. So you young brothers or older men, my brothers, what can we do to stop this cycle? What do we have to, how do we come to a problem to end the problem here? Because I work in prisons and I go talk to young boys and, I tell them, hey, you can be an entrepreneur. You can do this, you can do that. But, they like listening to that music and they believe in that music and that's who they look up to. So we're like, what advice do y'all have for them at the end of the day?
Well, first you gotta speak the language that the children understand. So I was in that same mentality, just without that drill music. But I was the same. It's the same mentality. Murder is murder. Robbery is robbery. Drugs is drugs. It's still the same mentality. Nothing changed. You just add music to it. So I believe that when you talk to a child, you can't talk down on them. You got to talk about the qualities that they have within themselves. So when it comes to me, that mentality,
and that's what I do.
You tell me about all my good qualities and all the good things I could become and everything, because a lot of us is growing up in broken homes, no fathers and no one to help guide us. So I believe that it's going to take us as a community to come together and not bash the kid on what they're doing wrong, not keep coming up here, y'all little niggas is this and y'all doing that, opposed to telling them about the good qualities that they have and what they can become. You can become the next Jay-Z outside of being the drill rapper. And not rapping, but a businessman, a mogul. You can become Kanye West. You can become that outside of all of the rapping. But it's going to take this. What is that? What I just expressed before. You got to learn to control your impulse. Somebody, yo, this dude said he's going to do that. What? That's the first thing we ready to do. Pop off. Let's pop off. We don't have no impulse control. Like I said, we dehumanize and all these other different things that I expressed. So you got to start teaching these kids in the classroom, in the school setting, make the curriculum about the murder and everything that's going on. That's not being taught in the schools. We got to speak about that in the schools instead of hearing about it on the news. These kids today, you know what they care about? Killing something and seeing it on the news. And then they go right now. Yo, you see, nah, my man made the news. Your man might have shot him, but my niggas is on the news. You stupid. And everybody trying to come up over somebody to make it worse. Same thing in the federal penitentiary. The fucking white guys, they made they murders gruesome when it came to the Aryan Nation and all that. Everybody had to up somebody to show how serious and dangerous they was. So with these kids today, they got to prove how serious and dangerous they was, what gang they in, which one is tougher, what neighborhood. But it's going to take somebody to come and stop being scared. All the old timers is scared today. They scared of these little dudes because you can hear it in them. Oh, these little niggas today, they crazy today. The kids hear that. When I was younger, the old timers be like, hey, yo, you crazy, shorty. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, you pussy though. You scared. You said,
hold on, Toes.
I'm gonna show you crazy.
Hold on. I got a brother that I watch his channel myself. Like I said, I watch everybody's channel. You know what I mean? Because I'm neutral and I just love the content. 050 China Brim is on. I'm gonna bring him up because I want to hear his opinion on this, and everybody's opinion count. So bring 05 up. I definitely I love his content and I want to hear what he got to say.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim.
China Brim, you on, family?
That's a hacker, boy. Now you got to check him before. That was a hacker.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I would love to have China Brim up here because I love his content. I watch him, so whoever know him, let him know. You know what I mean? I want to bring all the good brothers up here with good content that I feel is good content, and we're going to move from there. But like I said, we've been on here, and we're going to do this drill thing. Q Butter, you got my number from the other night, right?
Yeah.
All right, call me when we get off, and we're going to set up where we could talk tomorrow, and we're going to get, the drill rappers up here, and any one of these brothers that want to come back. This joint was real peaceful, and like I said, you know what I mean? This joint, I'm promoting everybody's thing.
Yo, St. Laz is a rapper.
Yeah? Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, everybody on here is reputable, and I love what they're doing. You know what I mean? So I'm just letting it be known that we here, and
can I throw something in, OG? I ain't gonna lie. So I think there's a culture of sucker and ignorance that we adults have allowed the children to be a part of. Yep. So the school system does not have any interest in children. So when a black parent brings a child to the school system, boom, you're teaching your child that you don't give a fuck about them because they're not learning nothing about their history, nothing about their culture. They're not seeing a reflection in themselves. They're not systematically being taught how to be loved in a system that they're going to spend about half of their life in. Up front. You see what I'm saying? Then we got to take accountability for a lot of these predator ass fake OGs walking around the hoods. There's a lot of predator ass niggas with a 10-year-old Benz or a 10-year-old Beamer They got about $1,000 in their pocket. They got smoke. They got access to little cheap guns. They can put some money in the pocket, and they got a couch for little motherfuckers to sleep on and do whatever they want. There's a lot of these old heads walking around. A lot of these old heads walking around. A lot of them walking around. And they're the gatekeepers to the other brothers who want to talk to them. Because while we talking knowledge to them, they going back and chilling with them in they trap. They getting money for weed. They telling they let you bring their little thotties over. They like, yo, hey, hold a hammer. You like, you know, see, versus tell a little motherfucker like, your boy, just don't go over there. Why don't you just go live with your uncle where you don't got beef? They like, nah, here, hold a strap. You know what I mean? Here's some money. You know, like immediate ignorance. So I definitely will take the time and call them out because this is like, I see it every day. A lot of old head fake gatekeepers.
Well, let me say
this. Okay, hold on. Let's hear Stephen Butler. You got your mic fixed, family?
Oh, okay. Nope.
Yeah, I can hear you. Say something.
I can't hear
you. I hear you. We hear you. I hear you.
You hear him?
Okay. No.
You read his lips? Who can hear him?
I thought I heard him.
That was crazy. No, we can't hear you, big brother. And I'm about to tap out. My old butt been up here too long, man.
Hey, let me say
I just want to give a shout out to all the brothers behind the wall. You know, Fort Dix. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my peoples. Mr. Hood coming soon. Podcast. You know, I want to shout out to Hassan and 10 Toes, you know, sitting on this platform. Unique, Number Love, the Queen, my brothers, you know. Stay tuned, yo. We be back. I'm out, yo. Y'all be good.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Yeah, shout out to Hassan and 10 Toes for actually coming on here and being. We got a civil conversation amongst our brothers. I'll just say this, you know, with my organization, we in the streets, man, in Philly. And it's bad, right? But I always say on my channel, until black men start loving each other again, I don't even take the women out the equation for me. Until black men start wanting for their brother what they want for themselves, we start actually loving each other. None of our communities will ever be safe until we actually want to build with our brothers and want to see each other come up. That's when our daughters, our wives, everybody else going to be protected. Until we start loving each other, all this is for nothing. Black men gotta love each other. The biggest threat to kill me is my brother. So until we eradicate that, nothing's gonna change.
And I want to say this, and I'm gonna get off Unique because I know you gotta go to bed.
Right.
But it's just like what my brother said. Like, we need our men. I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. We need the black men. You know, I know the other races, they in their homes, they with their wives and their kids. We need our black men. And that's how we become stronger as families. And that's the truth. And for so many generations, not so many generations, but we could say the last, 30, 40 years, we have not seen that in our homes. And that's failing us. It fails the black woman. It fails that little black boy. It fails that little black girl. You know, so we need y'all to come together and do whatever it is y'all do as black men, like the brother just said, like, love one another. It's okay to love and lift each other up. It's okay. But I would love to come back and speak with you, Unique. I've been following you a while now. I'm glad you home.
Okay, all right. But see, I'm gonna give an answer to that before I tap out. What they did is they took all the old elephants. They took all the old elephants out. You know what I mean? You know, me, 10 Toes, you know, Hassan and all his brothers, that Laz, all of us. They took us out the community and they left, you know, the babies with no guidance.
No, you know what I mean? I got to stop you right there. They didn't take us out.
We took ourselves out. We took ourselves out. Thank you. See, that's what I'm talking about. Check me when I'm wrong, man. That's
why they set you up, though.
No, we ain't even gonna do it. That's mollifying. 10 Toes said it right. My choices. I knew for me slinging all that coke, I was gonna go to jail. So 10 Toes is right. Yeah. You know what I mean? I made the choices.
I always told people. So when the parole board asked me one time, "Oh, so you had a gun to protect yourself? You sold drugs to get money? Oh, so your mother had a gun and she sold drugs? No. Oh, your brother that's a doctor, he sold drugs? No. Oh, so let's hear what your next excuse is. They don't even want to hear nothing else. So you can't minimize nothing that you do. You was in the streets, you did what you did, accept it. Responsibility. That's it.
Okay, now before I tap out, you know what I mean? I got somebody been sitting in the basement that been watching this, and he said he got a lot from this. So I'm gonna bring him up, and we're gonna be respectful. You know what I mean? Because like I said, this to give everybody a voice to let them know that this is how family get down. You know what I mean? All right, family. So what did you get from this?
What's up? Oh, it was good. It was good talk. It was good conversation. It was a good build. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody on the panel. St. Laz was good.
What's
Two
up,
brothers.
What up?
Good. Haas, Unique. 10 Toes Down was salute to you. Ashley, how you doing, Queen? Yeah, this is a good talk. You know, I think the youth need to hear more of this, you know, so they could, you know, fly straight, you know. A lot of the youth got to fly straight, you know, because right now it's getting ugly out here. So definitely a good bill.
Because like that's one of the young brothers. He's 26. You know what I mean? He wasn't even born when I got locked up. You know what I mean?
He older than 26.
How old are you, Bullets?
27.
27.
I
And
got
I did
kids, so I
26
got
and a
kids
half
older
days.
than
So he was 6 months old when I went in.
You older
Yeah,
than
You know what I mean? He
we
was
got
6
kids
months old
older
when I
than
went in.
we got kids older than him. Unique.
You know what I mean? So it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be able to, you know, have you listen so you can see how, you know, OGs move. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you know, I didn't like the Arab down the store, the Chinese man selling the Chinese food in my neighborhood, but I still bought the chicken because it was banging and I love the rice with soy sauce and duck sauce. You know what I mean? So you ain't got to like them to deal with them. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you got to respect them and know that everybody have a point of view. Now, if everybody want to plug their channel, you know what I mean? Plug somebody else's channel. That's what we're here for. I'm about to tap out. I'm old, been on here 3.5 hours. You know what I mean? I'm not young like Hassan no more that I could do 4 hours, you know? So
I'll go. I'll plug and I jump off. Yeah, you guys can catch me the George Making Experience channel. You know, we talk about death to the real nigga. We don't support real nigga culture. It's not about killing the real nigga. It's about killing that real nigga consciousness. I got a family channel, been married 18 years from the street. I'm like 10 Toes said, I made a choice. If a dude like me can be married for 18 years, I'm not trying to hear none of that shit from y'all dudes. I chose my children over the streets a long time ago. So like I said, you know, my channel's a family channel and you know, we get it in over there.
Okay, what's this? A moment of silence? What's going on? Anybody hear nothing? This is getting spiritual.
Yo, 10, son.
my
Yo,
bad,
you
my
my
mic was off.
man.
See, first of all, y'all tell me I talk too much, then you tell me I ain't talking loud enough. Hey,
No,
yo,
we was about to make prayer. Let me say my thing and I'm out of here because I was about to start praying.
now 1 second. Oh, okay. Now somebody was coming in, and I wanted y'all to tell me if that's who he said he was. But you know what I mean? Like I said, this channel, man, I'm here to try and bring everybody together. You know what I mean? So that we could have good content like this because everybody, my mic is mute.
Are you good?
If you close it out, how you still bringing people in?
No, he's not coming in. He popped out. If somebody kept saying that, if somebody, so y'all know, if somebody kept saying he was 050 China Brim, I brought him up because but he wasn't in the screen. But I watched his content, so I definitely wanted to hear his opinion as well. You understand what I'm saying? To see where he's at as far as to give the youth a message, you know, here on my platform. So they popped out. So that's why, you know, I said no. You know what I mean? So I was going to mute them and bring them up so y'all can tell me who it is.
10 Toes Down. Talk back to me. Get in my comment section. Y'all know what it is.
Alhamdulillah.
Who's
that? That's him?
Okay.
But what he playing though? Why you playing that?
He got that. Yo, let me get a turkey, bacon, egg, and cheese music, boy.
Yo, homie, I watch your content. I'm watching content and I love it. I'm about to go to bed. We're gonna do it another time.
Unique, I'm gonna be coming to Harlem. I want to meet up with you. I want to coordinate with you. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm very active in Houston, so I'd love for you to come down here too.
We'll definitely make it happen. I want to thank everybody for coming, man. It was highly respected. And like I said, you know what I mean? Everybody's welcome. We're just going to keep it peace because we're definitely trying to reach the youth. And I think we did once we air this. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fact, appreciate everybody for coming through.
All right, salute, Unique, Haas, Last, Q Butter.
Peace, peace.
Salute. All right.
Peace.
Oh, let me end it. Peace.